Hello, everyone, and welcome. Today is a very exciting day for me, and hopefully you too. We are going to watch some other game streamers and casters and players try their hand at Age of Empires 2 Definitive Edition. On a personal note, very, very excited just because there are a few names on the list of people we are going to be watching today that I have been watching for, I want to say decades, plural. Maybe like a decade to 2 decades, 10 to 20 years, depending, maybe 10 to 15 years. These are streamers that I have been watching since basically I entered the workforce, and every lunch break. Forget socializing, forget looking at the stock market, forget everything that every normal person does on their lunch break. Yours truly would get a sub, would get a chicken sandwich, some kind of unhealthy food with a Coke or a Pepsi, sit down and watch a StarCraft 2 stream or an Age of Empires stream. But for the purpose of today, let's focus on the StarCraft 2 streams, just because these are, again, people that I have been viewing and watching for a while. And thanks to Hera's tournament, which is a fantastic idea. I'll talk more about that soon. But thanks to Hera's tournament, we are seeing a bunch of people joining the Age of Empires scene. We'll see whether it's temporary, whether it lasts. In any event, we're going to have 6 games from 6 different streamers and casters. And hopefully I believe there's a wide variety of Elos. I don't think any of them have touched 2K, but it's anything from like 1,000 all the way up to 1,700 or so. Hey, Pigeon. I'm doing well. I'm very, very excited for today, just because when we get to them, like the all 6 people that we're going to watch today, I have been following and known for a while, but there's a few here that when we get to their games, I'm just going to geek out. And I just can't believe that I'm having the opportunity to cast some of these people playing Age of Empires, just because, again, I have been a content consumer of theirs for 10 to 20 years, depending on who we're talking about. And it is just a marvelous, marvelous thing for me to be able to sit here and watch them play Age of Empires and comment and criticize and laugh and cry and all of that stuff. And so, so let's start with game number 1. We are playing Day9, who I believe has been coached a bit here and there by Hera himself. And let's dive right in. And we find ourselves on Arena, where Day9 with the Elo of 1256 takes on Che Guevara Resurrected, El Comandante, playing as the Bengalis in blue with an Elo of 1277. And let me zoom out. We are on Arena, north and south. We have the Lannisters and the Starks, although the colors are, I guess, reversed, or the Starks were like red and golden or something like that, and the the Lannisters were like red and gold, and the Starks were like, I don't know, winter colors, which I'm like blue. Maybe if he was P7 gray, maybe. But in any event, we are on Arena, Day9. The first of our non-AoE 2 casters playing the game. Although I believe Day9 has casted before and he's played before as well. But let's see how he does. Hey, Corey. Nice to see you. Welcome, welcome. And let's take a look. We've got Comandante playing as the Bengalis, one of my favorite civilizations. Just such an interesting civilization, taking on, okay, well, there you go, the stoner civilization, the pothead civilization, the Burgundians that literally have everything and anything related to food. Their relics generate food. Their tech upgrades economically cost less food. Their stable techs cost 50%, which is primarily food. And most importantly, their vineyards, their capitalist vineyards, also generate gold while, you guessed it, gathering food. So yeah, this is like somebody with the munchies deciding to create a civilization, and out came the Burgundians. Day9. On the other hand, the Bengalis, man, oh man, are their elephants tough. They take less bonus damage. Where are you? By the way, I say this every stream. I'm probably going to keep saying it every stream, but big hat tip to Capture Age and their team and everyone involved in that, because, again, I have to know nothing This is like bringing a cell phone into an exam. I don't have to remember anything. Every time they get to a next age, they get 2 extra villagers. But more importantly, where are you? There we go. Elephant units get 25% less bonus damage, which is if you are a player who has run into elephants, whether they're ranged, whether they're melee, you know how difficult they can be to take down. And so you need counter units. Otherwise, you're going to spend a lot of resources taking down a unit with 3 to 420 HP. Whether we go all the way from 1 civ all the way up to the Vietnamese. You know just how annoying and how tough elephants can be to deal with. And when they take less bonus damage, since pretty much the only way to counter elephants, unless you've got massive siege onagers and Bohemian halberdiers and all that good stuff, is pretty much countering them. Or, you know, you can just make sure your opponent never gets to them. But to counter them, skirmishers against elephant archers, halbs against regular melee chunky boys. But when they take less bonus damage, I keep forgetting where it is on this icon, that is a massive deal. Now, that also means high ground, low ground bonus damage, which on Arena doesn't really matter since it's a bunch of flat ground. Flat as an ironing board. And Day9 is already out on the map. Arena, he's seen 1 relic. Has Comandante even gone out of his base yet? No, he's been exploring the rear. Has Day9 explored his rear? Yes, he has. Okay, so he's out on the field first, has already located the 2nd relic. Looks like Comandante has found 1. But Arena, the standard meta, basically 3 phases. Ignore the fox and their bellies full of gold. Phase 1, everyone rushes up to Castle Age. Phase 2, they fight over the relics. And Stage 3, once all the 5 relics on the map are gathered, then they build their armies, go to Imperial, and fight, fight, fight. Now, I don't know if these players are going to follow the same meta. I don't know if they're going to do... You know, I usually cast high elo games. 1277, 1256, I would say is like low elo. Maybe not lowest, but fairly low. Mid elo, I would say, starts at maybe 1500. Maybe my definitions and descriptions are just completely off. I have no idea. I just make things up as I go along. By the way, for anyone watching this, when I first started the channel, boy oh boy did I catch flack because I kept using StarCraft terms because of the casters that we're going to watch today. I watched them so much that my brain was just always in StarCraft mode, and so I would say things like, oh, he's supply blocked instead of housed. You know, I would say things like that, and then people would really, really take an issue in the comments section of my videos to say, bro, do you even AoE too? To which I would say, fam, of course I do, bro. Come on, bro. You're low elo, according to me. Yeah, who the hell cares what I say? I mean, a few people are here, so they obviously care what I say, but or at least care how I describe this beautiful game of ours. But yeah, I wouldn't take anything I say without a kilogram of salt. Let's see, Comandante has seen the 2nd relic in the top right. Day9 still scouting. So far, the gameplay is not terrible. We're 9 minutes in. Both players are at 25 pop. Unfortunately, Day9 is housed for a good old 25 seconds, which is the time it takes to build a house, time it takes to train a villager, time it takes to research loom, unless, of course, you are the Goths. Right? It's the Goths that come with loom in just about instantaneously. And both players are heading roughly at the same time, at exactly the same villager count up to the feudal age. We'll see what they decide to do. And yeah, look, I'm trying to avoid the live streams of these casters slash players slash newfound AoE lovers, just so I can avoid spoiling games. And because of that, it's like a double-edged sword. On the one hand, I don't know what the hell's going to happen. On the other hand, I don't know if they're practicing build orders, if they're taking this seriously. I mean, it's a tournament with money on the line. You'd like to think they're taking it seriously. But I don't know. We'll very much find out. So far at this point, their build orders are very similar. The only difference here is that El Comandante has 2 extra villagers on food, which has now become 4 extra villagers, just because, again, the Bengalis, every time they go up in age, get 2 villagers for free. Just pop out, just like that. Just like the, I believe they went up here. Just like the Dravidians get the extra wood, these guys get the extra vills. Oh yeah, we're going fast castle, the old blacksmith market combo here for our Burgundian. Now, one cool thing in Castle Age of the Burgundian, not that I recommend doing this against a civilization like the Bengalis, whose monks come with +3/+3 armor, but the Burgundians, one of the cool things is that they get, where are you, Cavalier and Age earlier. So technically in Castle Age, if you wanted to, you could dump that, I mean, it's not 300 food, 300 gold anymore. Now it's 50% off, but he can dump a bit of resources. Now, why don't I recommend that? Because Cavaliers are slow. Monks come with armor. Cavaliers don't have any kind of attack bonus. Now, you might be thinking, dear caster, why are you arguing something that nobody has even brought up? None of these players are going to build Cavaliers in the Castle Age. To my knowledge, I mean, I would respond with, who the hell knows what the hell these players are going to do. So let's see. Both are rushing up to Castle Age. 26 to 29 villagers. Housed is our Bengali, but doesn't really matter at the moment. Can't train anything. Doesn't have a barracks. Doesn't have a stable. Doesn't have anything that can train or birth any units except this structure. And it is currently occupado. And now he's housed no longer. So he managed to squeak in an extra villager, in addition to the 2 he got for free, as opposed to Day9, who you can see here the difference in the bottom right of your screen. The difference in TC idle time basically explains the 1 villager difference, plus the extra, let's say, 10 seconds or so difference in him going up to Castle Age. Now, does 10 seconds really make a difference? Probably not. Barracks. Will there be a stable? Do you have a barracks? No, neither player having a barracks. Both players opting to get their rabbits, their hares, with a mill. And we will see in under 30 seconds what the players decide to do. I love that he built 1 house. Then he realized he doesn't really need to rush into a 2nd house right away. Builds a barracks and right away a stable. Ooh, okay. Well, there you go. You never know what you're going to see. Instead of building the monastery, I don't know, close to the gate maybe, the monastery goes down right next to a broken piece of wall. Good news, you can drop off relics real quick. You can get monks out on the field real quick. I mean, you could have also just placed your monastery here. Bad news is that monastery can now come under attack by melee units. Forget the meta. We've got ourselves double TC. First one, I mean, I get the inclination of putting it next to the gold. Maybe here would have been better between the gold and the stone. This one's perfectly placed. Maybe one in the back just to be safe. But the only reason I don't like this one is, I shouldn't say I don't like it, but I question the placement just because it's so close to these, which limits your farming placement. But to be fair, so much room in the back. Random house also going there. So how many relics has Day9 seen at this point? Oh, that's so sour. It's right there. Literally 2 tiles away. What about Commandante? Yeah, he's seen all 5. So even though he's scouted later... Ooh, somebody's already gotten a relic here. No, never mind. Nobody's gotten a relic. El Commandante is expecting Day9 to come out relic hunting. And so he's spreading them spearmen around. Spreading a few spearmen here and there. Just to make sure if a scout accompanies the monk, that scout will basically die immediately. A secondary wall-off going up for Day9. So he's playing a lot more passively. That being said, he is going to have a much bigger eco shortly. He is training 7 villagers at a time to the 3 of the Bengalis. Now, you're always behind when you're fighting the Bengalis. Ooh, looks like Day9 tried to go for the monk. What the hell is this? What is going on here? As I was about to say, you're usually behind when you're playing the Bengalis in terms of villager count. Both spearmen died. Both wolves survived. Remus and Romulus here. Just because of those free villagers that they get. By the time you hit castle, you're getting 4 free villagers. Unless you're the Hindustanis, that's 200 food for free. And that is, whatever, 25 seconds times 4, 100 seconds. So almost 2 in-game minutes of saved time. That being said, again, the Burgundians, their eco comes in an age earlier. So in the Castle Age right now, if he wanted to... Where are you, tech tree? There you are. Oh, it doesn't show the eco tech tree. No, there it is up top. So he can get all of the upgrades right now if he wanted to. He can go all the way up. All the way up. Now, they're still not cheap, especially when you're trying to build your eco, but there you go. At the 20-minute mark, Day9 has surpassed his opponent. But 0 relics for him, 0 attempt to get relics for him. We'll see if that ends up biting him in the Burgundian ass. Although blue here needs to... Hello.
Anish?
Bro. Is that monk holding a spear? Interesting. I feel like my graphics are a little off. I'm going to have to look at this. It seems very pixelated to me. Okay, a 4th TC going up for both players. And what the heck is this? Okay, look, I'm all for scouting. I'm all for outposts. If you've ever watched me, no, where are you going? The relic is right here. You're going the wrong way. That's like the scene from Planes, Trains, and Automobiles when Steve Martin falls asleep and John Candy... Yeah, Steve Martin's asleep and John Candy also falls asleep, and then he veers off to the wrong direction of the highway, and those people are like, "You're going the wrong way." That's what I feel like yelling at these monks. Anyway, ADD distraction aside, I'm all for scouting. I'm all for outposts. I don't think you'll ever meet anyone as pro outpost as I am. Make outposts great again. But this is a bit much. I don't think you need this. I don't think you need 4 in this one area. Probably maybe this one and this one if you really want it to be safe. I don't think you even need that many. But this is a good number of outposts here. 7. So El Comandante is going to know exactly what's going on in the the Burgundian base. He's also going to see, by the way, the Burgundian has absolutely no desire to move out. Day9 playing this incredibly defensively, to the point where now his villagers are at risk by these 9 range monks. And by the way, let's look at that armor. Oh yeah, +3. So good on a monk. I think it means that the scout line units need 1 extra attack to kill the monks, because these units, these light cavalry units, are very specialized. And look at that, monk +6, light cav +10. And so they are very, very good. Now, speaking of walling in, 4 relics. How has he not gotten this one? He's seen it. The monks are there. Where are the monks? Okay, they're trying to find villagers to convert, but look at Blue's vision. Day9 is really, really giving his opponent a lot of respect. Now they're going home. Go to the relic. You forgot the relic. He is giving his opponent a lot of space. We'll see if that works for him. We'll see if his eco booms. Okay. University, maybe that's his second structure that he needs. He does almost have the resources to go up to Imperial. He just needs 100 more gold, and with 8 villagers on gold, should be right around the corner. Okay, so I was thinking, you know what? The Burgundians have one of the most powerful hand cannoneers. Their gunpowder units +25 attack. So instead of attacking on a 17, they attack on a 21. That's almost fully relict Lachai attack of 22. These guys attack at 21. Now, of course, they don't ignore armor, but the numbers are the numbers. By the way, that's almost like a war elephant that attacks on a 24. Day9 with that Burgundian eco, only ahead about 5% though, is heading up to Imperial. When blue, if and when blue goes up to Imperial, shouldn't assume anything in these games. 1, 2, 3, 4 TCs, 2 villagers apiece, 8 free villagers. And that just goes to show you how crazy that feature is. Okay, so you've shored up your defenses. You've walled in with one of my favorite universities, this very tropical, like, you know, the, here we go, another tangent by your ADD caster. I was thinking campuses and universities and all that stuff. Man, I saw a video of some of these universities in the U.S., like in Texas and in Florida. They look like resorts. There's a massive pools and everyone's suntanning. More and more. Are we going to see Ratha play against the Burgundians? Okay, I mean, you do have your paladin if you'd like. Remember, it's cheaper. Look how much cheaper, by the way. Oh, come on. Okay, I'm just gonna keep my mouse here. Look how much cheaper that paladin tech costs. 650, 375, half price. The only problem is Burgundians, no bloodlines. So your pallies are stuck at basically 160 HP. Not great. I mean, it's still a 160 HP unit. It's not 230, but 160 HP with, what is it? I believe 7 pierce armor at the end of the day once fully upgraded. And the Burgundians do have all the upgrades. 7 pierce armor. against a unit that attacks right now on an 8. Now, obviously, comparing a Castle Age Elephant Archer to an Imperial Age Burgundian Paladin is not fair, but we'll see in 30 seconds who gets there. I do want to keep an eye on the Burgundian, the Bengali base. Ooh, he's going to see this, by the way. He's going to see all of it with these outposts. We have 16 seconds. Do not miss the extra villagers. Keep your eyes peeled, everybody. Here we go. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Where are the extra villagers going to go? 2 and here. 2 and here. I don't even know where the right one went. I'm so... okay. And I believe these 2 are here. Maybe not. Maybe I'm just highlighting bullshitting. That was cool. There you go. 8 free villagers, and all of a sudden, Bengali takes the lead. Wolf stands no chance. TC, or pardon me, Castle. Look at that. Oh, do not step on the grass. 1 signpost is enough. What are the upgrades on the Castle? Okay. Does have +2. Bodkin for the old Castle. Our Burgundian waited until Imperial to get his Cavalier upgrade. So he might actually be going Paladin. Day9's got a lot of food. 47 villagers on food. Now again, without bloodlines, these units are a little lackluster. Oh, he doesn't look... Does he even have husbandry? No, they're so slow. I was wondering why they're moving so slow. Now, they are strong enough. They will get the Treb, which means the immediate threat is done. No one's going to push into a castle. I don't think 1200 Elo players generally push into castles unless they have some kind of long-range bombardment option. Live after a long time, I was watching your first gameplay video live from last year. Yeah, keep drinking Zero Vanilla Coke. Ah! I've switched to Coke Zero. Where are you going, Treb? I have switched to Coke Zero. Paladin, 1 minute 40 seconds away, but as is Elite Elephant Archers. Okay. Now, to be fair, like we said earlier, or like I said earlier, these units take less bonus damage. The good news for Red is that his units are strong and don't do any bonus damage, so they're just going to be cutting at him full strength. Now, he's going to need a bit more than forging. He's getting iron casting. We'll see how long it takes. Blast Furnace is a long-ass upgrade to research, and an expensive one. He's got 40 villagers on gold, though. Red needs to break out of containment. If he wants to go Paladin play, these are not cheaper Paladins. These are full-priced 75 gold Paladins. And he's going to have to break containment and go after some gold somewhere because the closest patches are here to the left, here to the right. This, I believe, is... No, it is gold. Elephants moving in with their HP. They're not scared. They just want to take care of the villagers repairing, which is fine. We're up to 300 HP. Paladins are massing. Fully armored. Was I right about the 7? Of course I was. And we are... not quite at +4 attack, +2. And also not enough units here. Red Castle down, Blue Castle getting repaired, but he's out of stone. So no more repairs for you. Defensive Castle for Day9. Yeah, he ceded map control, and now he's getting chunked away from even these outer resources, and by chunked I mean these Elephant Archers. What the hell do you do against 3,300 HP? This unit might attack like a longbowman with a base of a 7 pierce attack, which basically gets entirely rubbed out. Maybe that's not the right appropriate word, but it gets entirely nullified by the armor. So they're basically doing 3 damage right now to these Paladins that have 160 HP. So the Paladins, both units, the Paladins and the Elephant Archers, can stay alive a long, long time. We're getting Burgundian Vineyards. There we go. The weed is kicking in. Or maybe the Adam Smith is kicking in. What is attacking here? I thought that was a villager for a second. So both units have good longevity against each other. One by virtue of massive amounts of HP, one by virtue of higher armor. And there is Pikes. He needs that. Pikes upgrade makes the elephant units that are on the field attack 25% faster, I believe. Is it 25? 20. Pardon me. You know there's going to be like a Reddit post. Cast of Empires doesn't know what the hell he's talking about. Where are these guys going? This is a one-way trip here. Both players starting to hit that 200 pop, but unfortunately 28 housing space just He disappeared because that castle went down. Day9 continues maneuvering, continues to tell me he's got husbandry. Okay, finally does have husbandry. All fully upgraded. So these are fully upgraded paladins. We'll see whether the missing HP... Okay, well, there's Mahayana. So 155 villagers will become a population space down by 10%. There must be a better way of saying that. Where are these paladins going? Now they're fighting against halberdiers. Killing some gold miners. Yeah, if your opponent's going elephant archers, you need to raid the eco as much as you can and abuse their slow movement speed. On the other hand, we've got some idle villagers. Both players have some idle villagers, so it kind of evens out. Day9's down about 10, 12 productive villagers at the moment. Elephant archers, oh, this is the worst place to engage into is a choke point. A bunch of alleys where your units are stacked and stuck behind one another. Trebs are still up. They are more interested in creating ruckus inside the base than they are getting into the base. And now our Bengali has a cavalier out on the field. And a knight. Here come the paladins. Running to the safety of the castle. The paladins give chase now. Against the castle, maybe. Okay, he does get one for free. All it cost him was a little bit of HP. But again, 40 villagers on gold for Day9 have become 13. And those 13 are going to go down to 0 very, very quickly once he finishes the internal mining. And this is why on Arena, they fight tooth and nail over every inch of property. Because once you're inside resources, you start with 2 patches of gold, a primary, a secondary, and only 1 patch of stone. And then you've got the extra resources outside your base, the gold, the stone. Unfortunately for Day9, they're both in the same position and both under siege. No! No, he left the gate open! And here's where you think maybe the skirmishers will do a good job. And against elephant archers, generally they're mid, let's say. But not against the Bengalis that take less bonus damage. An interesting fact about elephant archers, they come with negative cavalry archer armor. Look at that, -4. So they're already at a deficit. And on top of that, you throw the, where is it, cavalry archer +2. So that, for a normal elephant archer, is a -6. But for these Bengalis, it's a -4.5 instead. Wasting paladins on halberdiers. Oh, man, the Commandante must be so happy right now. The threat to his elephants are gone. Day9 has no more trebs left. Okay, I thought we got Burgundian Vineyards a long time ago, but I guess the castle researching that fell. Elephants in North Group have died. South Group is still alive. Okay, the combination of paladins and skirmishers is doing a good job here. Again, they're so tanky against counter units. Ooh, the market, you don't want to lose that. Does he have a backup? No, he does not. Does have a backup TC though, so red is still on 4 TCs. Ooh, now would be a good time to fire a nice little volley. Never mind. Okay, skirmishers versus halberdiers. Skirmishers with micro should be annoying enough to tickle away some of these halberdiers. They do bonus damage against them, I believe. If I could just click a unit. There we go, spearman +4. Unfortunately, that +4 doesn't kick in with the minimum the minimum space here. Skirmishers do have a minimum range. Okay, we finally broken in, and what is going on here? Are we doing an elephant transition? Yes, we are elite battle elephant. Why the hell not? Commandante controls the entire map. He's got the gold, he's got the space, he's got the food, he's got, I was gonna say he's got the upgrades. Then, of course, I looked up and saw that he does not. 190 pop to 150. Day9 is in trouble. He needs to hold the line, and he needs to do it in a very annoying situation. If you've played, you've seen this before. You've had this happen to you. You've done this to people where you're behind and your opponent just carves up his army into 5 or 6 little tiny groups, which don't do a lot of damage, but they require a response from you, and that response pulls your already small army away. Yeah, like this guy's not going to kill anything. Oh. I'm just gonna shut up. I'm just gonna shut my mouth. Skirmishers are a good choice here against halbs and elephant archers. The problem is, well, no elephants yet, and we're getting light cap. There you go. Elephants to the left have fallen. Halberdiers to the right have fallen. But at the same time, Day9's populations. Actually, Day9's population is the same as El Comandante's. They're both at around 150 to 160. To be fair, though, one player just threw away a bunch of halberdiers. One player threw out a bunch of paladins, and the elephants are on their way. Again, Bengali elephants take less bonus damage. Not that skirmishers and paladins do any bonus damage to war elephants or battle elephants. So this was a great switch when it comes to elephant archers. And I believe, if I'm not mistaken, because he is training spearmen, our red Burgundian has caught wind of the elephant switch. Needs houses. Is he building more houses? Yes, but on the front lines. Okay, to be fair, don't like anything on the front lines like this, but he is creating a bit of a funnel. Once this wood gets jacked, though, it is not good for him. Okay, look. On the one hand, he's playing very risk-averse. Hi, Daniel. On the one hand, he's playing very risk-averse by walling himself in and refusing to go out onto the map except for maybe some wood. On the other hand, he's playing incredibly aggressively by placing 5 barracks in the forward position. Now, 66 villagers on food, 46 villagers on wood is a great number. Maybe move 10 in total to gold as well. I mean, you've got a patch of gold here, you got a patch of gold here, you got a patch of gold here. You don't need 18. And if you're going to go battle elephants, these are not Malay elephants. You want to pay full price. You don't want to pay full price, but you're going to pay full price. And oh, goodness gracious. This army has 18,000 HP. Okay, Day9. Look at the spearmen, the spears, the lances, whatever the skirmishers throw, the javelins on the ground. And the skirmishers should be on the right. The pikemen should be on the left. And to be fair, these aren't Persian war elephants, so pikemen and halbs could do a good job. Burgundians do, of course, get everything in that regard. But the skirmishers, okay, they went around the long way. Now they're going after the elephant archers. So Day9 knows enough. Now look at this. He's lost about a third of his army before the fight even happened. And now more and more skirmishers are falling. Not enough to one-shot. The elephants are rampaging here on the left as well. Day9 is in freaking trouble. Don't let Pigeon fool you. He's not Louilo. All right, well, Day9 unfortunately falls to the big ol' elephant ball. El Comandante playing this pretty much nice as you can. He took the relics. Did he get all 5? Of course he got all 5. Day9 didn't even try to get the relics. Didn't even try to contest the relics. He just tried to get up to Castle Age, get those 2 original extra TCs out. But he was too turtled. In Arena, if you get too turtled, you get in real trouble real fast. Because this happens. Now, I don't know about this. That's a lot of barracks. I mean, it was good for the it was good for the paladins, of course, or to counter the paladins. But yeah, like I said, El Comandante playing this as well as he could have. He's got a little bit of everything except siege, which he doesn't really need since he's got these trebs uncontested, just roaming around, creating an entire buffer zone here. But what a fun game. Day9 just unfortunately falling behind. Paladins wasted on halberdiers. And if he had these skirmishers and the skirmisher ball earlier, then maybe he could have contested the elephant archers better and taken map control. But yeah, once you cede map control, especially on Arena where these secondary resource patches, their location is incredibly important. Both of these locations in the forward position were pretty much under siege once this castle went up. I mean, you don't really need Steven Seagal to come in and say, these are mine. They were 100% under siege. I like the 3 barracks. So Day9's got to figure out, do you want to be an aggressive player? Do you want to be a defensive player? And if you're a defensive player, man, oh man, do you have to scout. Because if you're reacting, you have to know exactly what you are reacting to. And unfortunately, he had 0 scouting. And on the opposite, or quite the opposite, his opponent had 7 outposts here. So that was a fun first game. Halbs, Elephant Archers, and Elephants, although, yeah, this is misleading. We didn't really see many right up until the last few minutes. Taking on Skirmishers, 71 Paladins. Again, they're Burgundian. It's cheaper to get to them. You can get to them quicker because in Imperial, you don't have to research Cavalier. You can spend that, I guess, 150 in Castle Age. But unfortunately, 71 Paladins now, like right now, 71 Paladins would have come in very handy. But unfortunately, yeah, you know, again, if you're going to play as defensive as Day9 played, I think you need to scout a lot more. At the very least with outposts. You don't need to send units out if you don't want to. I know lower elo players sometimes get nervous about losing a unit here or there. This is Age of Empires. Your units are expendable. Treat these units like pieces of toilet paper. Like, it doesn't matter if you lose half a roll, you know? Not to get too gross. All right. So, let's take a look at the numbers and see what ultimately happened. APM, right where you expect it to be. Kills, 360 kills. Day9 killed 155. Not even half. Economically, our Bengali, who had map control, everything, but just, oh my goodness, just barely had more wood. Food, gold, these are all things that the Burgundians should get. What were his ecotechs like? I wonder, but all the rest of the resources, including the scarce ones, the gold and the stone, went to his opponent. And what were his ecotechs? So missing the last farm upgrade, which again, he could have gotten in Castle Age. Missing the stone and gold, the Shaft brothers here, missing those as well. Where's our Bengali? Yeah, look at that. Full tech tree researched. And so his economy is up and running. Well, that was a fun first game. We've got a discussion of the Malay here. I believe we do have a Malay game, so let me just set that up. Or maybe not the Malay game, but let's see. You know what? Let's watch a Grubby game. I think he's the next one on. I just have to set up the players' Elos. Bear with me for just 1 second. So this is a bit of a higher elo game. Where we have Grubby, another awesome caster, player, content creator, taking on, oh goodness gracious, Fluxpa? Fluxpa? We're going to call him Flux. Why not? We got beautiful Bessie the cow moving around. We've got the Magyars taking on the Way. No, it is not fastball. It is just the Way. He sees the cows. He gets the cows. Let's take a look. We are on, pardon me, we are on Arabia. I was going to say Arena, but nope, we are on Arabia. Let's take a look at the bases. Forward gold on the annoying underside of a hill. Primary stone kind of to the north. Extra gold to the rear, off to the side, and extra gold off to the left. Where's your primary stone? Pardon me, that's not your primary. That's your secondary stone up here. Primary is nice to the back. Okay. Well, the Way, not too sure they're a very stone-heavy civilization, unless you want to start pumping out those Tiger Cavalry units. Base, fairly open. This is a big old open base. We'll see whether Grubby, the Elos, by the way, 1748 to 1701. We'll see whether or not the walling occurs, and if it does, where will it occur? You can discover other cows. Guys, you have to join. This is like the, what's the name of it? The Judas goat? Hey, other cows, come join me underneath the TC. It's nice and warm in here. Oh, the master takes care of us real good, the farmer. On the other hand, we've got Flux. Let's take a look. Primary gold. Also, I mean, how many patches is this? This to me looks like 6 patches, but of course it's Age of Empires, so it's 7. Primary stone and secondary stone here to the top right of the base. Extra gold, very forward position. Extra gold, very far off campus. The only difference in bases here is that Red has a much easier time walling in. He can wall this over here. He can wall using this gold if he wanted to. I would recommend maybe using the hills as part of your wall off, even though it's a little bit further. You don't want to let your opponent set up camp on top of this hill. I mean, this is a... Oh my goodness, this is like Hungary. This is just like the Pannonian steppe land here, where there's an empty space surrounded by mountains. Oh goodness, okay. I mean, so easier base to wall in, but surrounded by high ground. We'll see whether Grubby takes advantage of that high ground, whereas his base, also a few hills here. A couple of bosomy hills, a little couple of butt cheeks here and there, but fairly open. Will the players scout? Okay, so he is preferring to scout his immediate area. Is Grubby scouted a good amount at this point? Where is Red? Yeah, Red's already discovered where his opponent is. Will he dive under the TC? Or maybe not. He's already heading north. Blue. Now, the question is, it'll be fun for the StarCraft players and the StarCraft streamers and casters to play this game, because in StarCraft, it's incredibly symmetrical. Like, if you're in the 6 o'clock position, you know your opponent's at the 12 o'clock. If you're at the 3 o'clock, you know your opponent's at the 9 o'clock. The maps are fairly symmetrical. Age of Empires is just like somebody... The AI generation just vomits out a bunch of stuff. Bases are completely different. Resources are completely different. I mean, the quantity of the resources is the same. Everyone starts with the same 5 stone patches, for example, as their primary. But boy, oh boy, does their location differ significantly. Ooh, gonna try to get a Vil here. No, 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 no! Backstabbed by the villagers. Flux gets the first kill of the game, draws first blood. At the same time, he's also here in the rear, where Grubby is trying to either trap him or save his villager. Looks like he was not falling for it, especially as reinforcing villagers came. They do have Loom at this point. What about Red? How are your villagers? No Loom at all. I guess I could have just looked at the gold or the top left of the screen where it shows Loom is being researched. Forward barracks for our Magyar, a very, very cool mounted civilization. My favorite anti-siege unit, the Magyar Hussar. Daniel, the video's lagging? Let me know if the video's lagging. I'll see if what I can fix on my end. But to me, it seems fine. Shepherds with their crooks going after the chicken. Interesting. So they fire arrows at chickens, but do they do that for the rabbits? Oh yeah, high ground scout. Oh, he will see. That's beautiful scouting here. Blue maybe should have waited a second before giving away the position of that bear. That is a very cocky villager. She really thinks she can take on this scout chasing it. But no, just walls herself in. To be fair, this half completed, maybe a millionth completed palisade is going to fall very quickly. Grubby, grubby, grubby. It falls, and now the villager's kind of trapped. But where's Flux going? He does have to wait another 30 seconds before this scout's stats improve significantly. The attack jumps from 3 to 5. The movement speed improves significantly. The line of sight improves significantly. And so maybe you want to wait 10-9. Oh, but Grubby's not giving him enough time. He is getting the old double bit axe. So we're going to see a bit of a feudal play. This is Arabia. The second time. I think it's the second time I'm trying to say arena. Arabia, you never know what the hell you're going to get. Are we going to double down in feudal age? Are we going to rush up to castle age? Are we going to do anything and everything? I know there are some people that don't like my style of casting because I don't tell them exactly what's going to happen just because I have no freaking clue exactly what's going to happen. The trees do reach until the edge of the map. So, like I said, red using the natural territorial, I guess, layout to wall in the base, whereas Grubby is creating his own wall off with these, again, very aggressive villagers now fighting on the low ground, taking 25% more damage, doing 25% less damage. Ay, ay, ay. And there you go. Let's highlight the scout. Now you see the attack is a 5. The movement speed jumps from 1.2 to 1.55. And the villager with the long reach gets herself a kill. Yeah, this guy shows up saying, hey, I was going to do that. And the villager says, anything you can do, I can do better. Now, will he continue the wall off to the forest, these beautiful birch trees, or will he just not do anything because now he's getting gold? Yeah, Grubby's base is wide open. This is a base that can be abused very, very quickly by these Magyar scouts that do not cost 80 food. They cost 68 food because the Magyars get a nice 15% discount on all those scout line units. Spearman gets chased away. More scouts coming in now facing archers. Should be able to deal with them fairly quickly. With that 2 base pierce armor, your 4 attack doesn't really do much. Especially not when you get gangbanged like this and spit roasted and down you go. Spearman will be able to chase this away though. Not too sure Flux is going to want to engage. Flux is not going to want to engage because he is housed for a second. And now realizing that he doesn't like the feeling of not being able to train army in a game where you have to train army, he plops down another house. And Grubby is trying to trap these units. He's trying to create obstacles here, Hera style, so that this Spearman can come and catch up. But unfortunately, the micro out of Flux is just too good. The Spearman goes after a weak scout while the other 2 do their work and kill him. Oh, and now he's in the wood line. To be fair, though, again, these are loom villagers. They do have 1-2 armor. They do have 40 HP. Not too sure what the point of that was. Look at that! Look at that! Grubby, who I believe was also coached here and there by Hera with the quick hair. Now, I don't think you need this anymore. Okay, deletes it. Wow. Okay, well, at 1700 elo, boy, oh boy, is the micro coming in. Everyone loves my casting. Thank you so much. Oh, really? Oh, that's unfortunate. I should probably update more on Discord. I feel like I'm neglecting Discord, but then again, I feel like I'm neglecting 50 million other things, which is just unfortunately, yeah, 24 hours in a day. You know, we're scouts. We've got forging. We are light on our feet, but there are spearmen here, and 2 spearmen are enough to shoo away 3 scouts, especially when 2 of them are basically dead. More units are streaming across the map for red. Blue takes a bit of a smoke break, stops halfway through next to the relic. And now, 16 minutes into the game, our way has begun walling in. I mean, this is an interesting wall. Let me know what you think. Maybe just these 2 tiles here, and then a little bit here. I don't think you needed to give up this much space. But in come the Magyar scouts. Full-on feudal age aggression. At the same time, what is going on with this small army? They can't... Oh my goodness, this must be so frustrating for any of these players and casters who are not from Age of Empires when they think that they've walled themselves in, because every other RTS game, this would be walled in, especially with a chicken blocking it. Gockadoodle, don't cross here. But no, this is Age of Empires, where it's the MC Escher of RTS games, where nothing makes sense. Walls aren't walls. Nothing is blocked. And hills destroy everything. So, pro tip to anyone watching who wants pro tips, always run a palisade line. Pretend like you're putting down a palisade line and just drag it across where you think there's a hill. Like, start here on the left, drag it all the way to the right, and you'll see if there's any gaps. It'll show you. This army continues to do nothing. 1 kill only. Not even a villager kill. Skirmishers should probably focus on the spearmen if they want those scouts to close in on the archers. But fantastic micro here out of our Magyar. Grubby's spearmen are being run ragged. High ground archers should die very soon, but the spearmen do manage to get 1 scout. Bye way army. Villager count is just very much ahead of Flux, although again he's housed and this time doesn't realize it, and he deletes a house, which means now he's double housed, meaning you have to build another house just to get to where you were housed before. Okay, house goes up, and not surprisingly, with about 1 million villagers building it. This is also an interesting walling here. I mean, you could have used the house, which has 750 HP to the 250 of the palisade, but that's okay. Houses, remember, come with negative melee armor, which means they are more susceptible to melee destruction. This is not walled in at all. You don't need reading glasses to see that. Maybe he's leaving it open on purpose, although there is a gate here, so I can't imagine this is intentional. It does look like it's on a bit of a hill, which, again, like I said, other RTS players are going to absolutely hate this element of Age of Empires. I mean, I don't even know this is closed. Look, it looks like there's a gap here. But for all I know, this might be closed. Your guess is as good as mine. Instead of just repairing, he plops down another house. Not a bad idea. But again, negative melee armor means that these scouts are going to do 6 minus -1. Which, if my math skills from grade 1 are, you know, still sharp, that is 7 damage. Again, your guess is as good as mine if this is walled. Create a palisade, drag it this way, and see if it's a wall. Because I mean, this doesn't look walled to me, but it very much is. Anyway, enough complaining about the game. Grubby. Walled, besieged, down 6 dead villagers, down 7 villagers in total. Has managed to claw his way to Castle Age a full minute ahead of his opponent. Immediately bot, can immediately crossbow. The way. 1 free villager. Heiguang Cavalry, Janbei Riders. Is this Janbei or Shanbei? I think the X is pronounced like a SH, if I'm not mistaken. Nobody's building this wall segment. This is still open, I think, but right now the action is all across onto the other side of the map. He is going after this high ground wall that has very little HP, and for the second time, our blue way is in the base. Second TC going up for him. Immediately castle, immediately second. Now this might be overkill. At some point, the number of villagers you use to build things doesn't really improve the building speed much. And in fact, you should probably be using those villagers. Now go inside, go inside. Blue does get a villager, but again, his army's gonna die. These are just basic skirmishers. They are on the low ground. With Botkin, the crossbowmen should be able to kill maybe one of these skirmishers, but boy, are crossbowmen squishy. They're not Vietnamese, especially if there's light cavalry units in front of them to tank. So Grubby's army down. He does manage to get his first villager kill a few seconds ago, which is nice. So now the vill kill lead has gone from 6 to 5, which statistically is a pretty big number. Come on, complete the wall off and double check about this. Not that Red's putting on any pressure. 44 pop to 43. Oh, gold shaft mining. Okay, I mean, he's going to get a free villager for that, I believe, but not something that we see very often at the 25-minute mark of the game. What are we doing here? We're getting 25 vills on wood, 11 on food, 7, none on stone, which is what I pretty much figured. Okay, wall is finally up and running. Again, I don't know about this. Crossbowmen managed to punch in. We'll see what kind of damage they can do. Maybe some limited damage here. They are on the high ground. So bye-bye scout. That being said, they can't really move past this red line, or they're going to die. But Flux is giving, he's giving Grubby some good target practice. 2 scouts for free is not bad. Well, it was for free right until that knight showed up. The Magyars, no real discounts on their knights, but they get the melee attack upgrades for free. So as you can see, iron casting without having to research. That is a massive deal if we are lucky enough for the game to go into Imperial. Because again, Blast Furnace, I don't know why that's so hard for me to say, is a expensive and long tech to get. Long research time. It's like chemistry. Like it's one of the very, very powerful upgrades, but a very, very expensive and lengthy one to get. Ooh, Cav Archers out of our Magyar, who is again housed for a few seconds. They're going to run right by these villagers. They're not going to know. If they overstay their welcome, they're going to be trapped here because there's going to be a TC. Okay, at the same time, crossbowmen on the high ground, picking away at this house. Shanbei Raiders. I don't know why I said riders earlier. So they have like a bit of a charge attack. Again, I don't even have to know anything. Look at this. Look at this, everybody. Boom. Way unique mounted archer unit with a charge range attack. Now, going Cav Archers of any kind against the Magyars is for sure a very ballsy play. Monk goes down. TC has been spotted. Villagers. Where are the villagers? Looks like he killed one villager with these Cav Archers, but the other ones ran away. Going Cav Archers against the Magyars is a very interesting move, since the Magyars have probably one of the best Cav Archers. With a recurve bow, +1 attack, +1 range, 12 attack, 8 frickin' range on a Cav Archer. But we'll see. For now, We're down, or we're up to 10. Flux has a lot of gold. At this point, I think he'd probably buy his way up to Imperial if he had the structures. He does not. He doesn't have any of the 2 structures or a castle. Grubby just throwing away crossbowmen. I don't know that he's going to stick on crossbowmen, so he doesn't really care. Okay, go raid. You've got an open base here. Plop those Shanbei Raiders right here. And bye-bye farming for your opponent. This is going to be the second relic for our way. Has he seen the one right next to his base? He has, and he's seen the one right next to his opponent's base. I'm just going to mute the microphone for a brief second. Take a sip of water. Oh, he got a bit too close. Yeah, you got to be careful. You do not cross the line. Skirmishers, are they going to notice? They do. They do not have ballistics. That doesn't matter. He runs face first into a town center. Now, okay, well, there you go. Outnumbered 8-2. A market, a university. What are the upgrades for our cavalry units? Okay, no bloodlines, no husbandry. No ballistics, although we're just seeing a university go up now, so no surprise that there's no ballistics. He doesn't have the resources for it, so I wouldn't be surprised if he wants to play Castle Age, if we're going to see that as the next kind of upgrade. No, forget that. We're getting stone mining. I said the way didn't really need that much on stone. There's ballistics. Okay, so I was right, just a bit delayed. I'm going to pause, or mute the microphone for a sec. Okay, now, villager count. Oh, goodness gracious. Not paying attention. Grubby, or actually is paying attention. Managed to react fairly quickly, not lose a single unit. A little bit of HP, not the end of the world. Ballistics for both players. There's that thumb ring as well. And so... Okay. Will Red catch wind of this? He still thinks there's a big, juicy forest here. If he sees 1 million villagers here, that's bad news bears for our Cav Archer-focused way right now. 2 villagers down immediately. Now, luckily for blue, red needs to hit Imperial before he can get recurve bow. So, we are still far away from those Cav Archers being incredibly annoying and dangerous. I like that he's using the cliff edge. But come on, Palisade? You've got 8 villagers on stone. This is going to get busted into faster than a, let's see. Well, I'm trying to make a fat joke about myself. Faster than me at a Domino's Pizza. Something about Domino's Pizza. Anyway, it's going to get busted into very, very fast. High ground blue Cav Archers beat low ground red Cav Archers. Extra, read all about it. Okay, you might want to relocate these villagers. He's got wood line on the bottom left. He's got a wood line here on the right that's completely safe, especially once he finishes this and maybe walls it over here and maybe over here. This is very risky. Okay, he realizes that and F's off immediately. He's up to 4 relics. Our Magyar got one. I'm assuming the one that's right here. Gotta be that one. This villager did not get the memo, and when you don't get memos, you die. As anyone who's ever worked for corporate America knows. Although I shouldn't say that. Everyone who's worked for corporate Canada, you know. So they relocated here. They're going to relocate here after. Good call here from Blue to keep his lumber industry nice and safe from any kind of attack. Red is housed again. 1, 2, 3 houses. Oh, this is a chronic problem. And why he's down 3 villagers, which is not the end of the world right now, but look at the TC idle time. Almost 14 minutes to almost 6 minutes. That is almost 3 times the TC idle time. That is not sustainable. And now we've got big armies. 32 army count versus 27. No player going up to Imperial. Although both players close with the gold counts need to get a little bit more food in their tummies before they can do anything else. Right now, kind of shadowing one another. Blue has got to be careful. He is far from home. The wolves are attacking. What's the movement speed on these? 1. Oh, no. Oh, no. Okay, there it is. There it is. 1.54 to the same 1.54. Okay. Castle for Grubby gets discovered by while the Cav Archers attack the Vills. The Raiders attack the Cav Archers. There's got to be an Indiana Jones joke in here somewhere. Okay, Red takes the high ground. I don't know if these are technically counters to one another. I think these are just it's gonna come down to upgrades and positioning ultimately. So what smarter people than me call situational. For some reason, Blue is not engaging with his full army. What formation are they on? No formation at all. Imperial Age in 2 minutes for our Magyar, who, hey, you guessed it, is housed again. Now, Magyar's making barracks was not on my bingo card, so I'm not too sure what those barracks are for. Still housed, just got unhoused. And there you go. This is why you don't do palisade walls in the late stage of the game, because they just get busted into so freaking fast. And these are the kinds of battles I was hoping to see from non-pro AoE players. Just build as big an army as you possibly can and clash it with the other army, just like we saw last game. Well, not with Day9, but his opponent, the Commandante. Oh, at this point, delete that house and just run right into these villagers. Oh, this is going to be bad. Cav Archers to the north are trying to stop the push, but this is 43 Janbei Riders, and there's Tiger Cavalry coming out on the field with absolutely no attack upgrades. Their shtick is basically the more units they kill, the more HP they gain, and I believe attack as well, if I'm not mistaken. Hey, I guess I can just do this. Gains HP and attack when defeating enemy military units. The numbers are staggering here for both, but our Magyar has suffered a very bad loss and is now down to half his opponent's army count. Army group note deleted. Backup castle, or rather a castle here for Flux, who continues to suffer more and more villager kills. Somehow Red has killed 21 villagers, but only lost 9 or 10. So Grubby's rating is good. Flux's rating is great. He lost a bunch of villagers building this castle. I'm surprised he didn't lose more. There's Parthian Tactics, Bracer, and the ever-present Gold Shaft mining, which has become a very popular upgrade in this in this tournament, I guess. Okay, Grubby is hell-bent on evening up. I mean, like, there you go. Like, did you think that this was right up against the tree? Because if you did, you'd be wrong. Now, I know the players usually play on a grid, so they do see things here and there. Random monk. Random... random feudal age archer. Castle is in a good position. It's very forward, so it'll get the TC and be able to bust in here. But there are 2 big hills here that would have added a little bit more, like a little bit of a steroid injection to the butt cheek. These guys remind me of Kipchaks very, very much, although without the multiple arrows right now. And he runs. He's going to see the castle. Grubby loses 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And we've got the Magyar Cav Archer. Oh, no chemistry, no recurve bow. But a 7 attack nonetheless. No discounts on these, unfortunately, for the Magyars. But now he's fighting from the low ground. Grubby using the terrain very well. So remember, they don't get any boost or bonus, whatever you want to call it, for attacking and killing a villager. It's only military units, but it's still a decent little cavalry guy. I would say medium heavy. Hey, should have gone to bed. You should definitely not have gone to bed if I'm live streaming, but forward castle gone. This is where the hill and the bonus that it gives you would come in very handy. Grubby's resources are fantastic. Flux, not the best, but in come the Tiger Cavalry units. There's 9 of them here. 13 kills for them. Cav Archers are chasing them. Fully upgraded without the unique tech. Okay. Not too sure what that castle is going to accomplish, except for maybe getting the gold. But maybe a castle at home would have been a better idea. Are villagers fighting Tiger Cavalry? Hey, did you think you were Spanish? Or Bohemian or Incan? What the hell are you doing? What are the armor upgrades on these guys? +2 only. Yeah, he needs recurve bow. Because imagine recurve bow adds +1 attack. You get 16 more attack every volley they fire. That's an extra 10% of the Tiger Cavalry's HP. Again, not too sure what the point of this castle is, except to secure that gold, which I guess is the point. Tiger Cavalry are falling. There's a lot of Cav Archers here. But look at the numbers. Down half the army count, down half the villager count. Flux was housed and housed and housed again and again. Grubby now has double the population of his opponent, and he can afford to throw units left, right, and center. He also, by the way, has map control. Oh, Magyar Hussars are out. I don't think he's got the unique deck. I don't think he's got the Curvinian army. Yeah, so these are gold units right now. A gold trash unit. Looks like the Tiger Cavalry caught up with the Cav Archers. They do move just a tiny fraction bit slower. Look at Flux drawing his opponent into a trap here. Bye-bye, Cavalry Pie. But what are you going to do now? Your base is completely open. You got to run away. You got to pivot to the left. Trebs are in a very defensive, aggressive posture position here, but not much going to get accomplished by them. Flux was relying on Grubby just right-clicking here and then getting stuck and not realizing it, which happened to Grubby, but then he realized it a second later. Okay, okay. I mean, Grubby's got 86 villager kills. Boy, what a complete 180 from the 6-0 deficit from earlier. Now it's 86 to 31. Cavalry Archers attacking the PC. I don't think they come with any bonuses. Archers 6, Siege Weapons 2. Those are pretty decent bonuses, but nothing against structures. Okay, well, there you go. Grubby goes home with his army. Not too sure why. Treb is out, which is fantastic, but at the same time, he just put all his Cav Archers in the castle. So Treb did take a little bit of damage. Traction Trebs are out. One of the most annoying units in the game to deal with, and exactly, he does not want to deal with it. Flux, GG's. Treb is going to go down. Once that Treb goes down, this area is safe. Not much ado, and at the same time, his entire base has been ransacked, completely open. He's not been able to do much with these 3 Trebs that are just hanging out here. And what an absolute fun game. I mean, Cav Archer versus Cav Archer. Unfortunately, no recurve bow. Means that these Cav Archers were not quite as powerful as they could have been. What is the total? 62 to 105. Again, I don't know that Cav Archers are necessary. Let's compare the stats on these guys in terms of base anything. They both have 0 base armor. I mean, the armor upgrades here are fine. Red is just missing 1, which is why his is at a plus, pardon me, a +4 versus a +6. Attack-wise, the Shanbei is, again, is it Shanbei or Janbei? I'm going to say Shanbei. The Raiders, a lower attack, lower HP, same movement speed, but I believe 1.53 versus 1.8. So they do attack faster at the moment. And yeah, the Magyar, I think, really, really needed one of the upgrades. Either Curvinian army to start pumping out Magyar Hussars, or just regular Hussars. Remember, Magyar Hussars are 68 food, and you get the attack upgrades for free. And I believe they are faster than these Shanbei Raiders. I keep saying Riders. So they would have been a good option here to have. He does have the farming setup. I'm not going to say eco, but he does have the setup for it. If he wasn't getting raided to Timbuktu and back. But there we go. Let's take a look at the stats. Okay, it's funny. The higher the elo, the better the APM, or the higher the APM. Funny how that works. Kill count, very similar. Raising, very similar. Or is it similar? Yeah, 143 to 153 eco. Let's see where this went wrong for our Magyar, who was housed every single minute. Every other minute. I went to a a lecture last night, and or like a, not call it a lecture, like somebody was just giving a talk, and there was a disproportionate number of older people there. Although me at the age of 43, it's laughable calling anybody older. But man, the cell phones just kept going off. Every like 90 seconds, somebody's cell phone was going off. And because they were older individuals, it was a very, very loud ringtone. And so I'm reminded, like every 90 seconds, it seemed like Flux was housed. How many times was he housed this game? Whereas Grubby just kept the pressure, despite a bit of a sour opening here with losing villagers in the wood line, despite some odd wall-off choices. I mean, odd in my opinion. He still won the game, so I guess I'm the odd one. But what an interesting game. His economy up and running, full steam, 86 villager kills with this charge attack, Chukanu on a horse, and Grubby takes his match. Let's move on to the next one. I'm saving my. I hesitate to use the word favorite just because I love all these casters so much, but I'm saving like the ones that I watched the most in the last while for last, just because I'm so excited. By the way, if you're joining now, if you're watching this after the fact, or anything, and you just stumbled onto this part of the video, we are casting Hera's tournament, where he invited a bunch of streamers and content creators and players of other RTS games, real-time strategy games, primarily StarCraft, but they play a wide variety of games. He invited them to come play Age of Empires, which is a brilliant move. Kudos to Hera, pat on the back, hat tip, whatever you want to say, just because, well, let's start the game and I'll just because, you know, Age of Empires, as much as we love it, as much as it's a very venerable, amazing game, it is still a bit of a niche game. Like, our viewership numbers compared to other games, especially like non-RTS, like their viewership is in the hundreds of thousands / millions, the other esports. But when you want to grow, you know, one thing is to bring in people from other RTS games, because you know what, the mechanics are fairly similar. You got units that go pew pew, and you got units that go clunk clunk, and you have an eco to pay for those units. It's all kind of generally the same premise. Now, the execution is wildly different between Age of Empires and StarCraft. There's no Vespene gas, there's no minerals, there's no battle cruisers flying over this guy's town center, just firing, raining hell on them. There's no, I mean, there are Zerglings, which we call Karambit warriors. But it's a brilliant move out of Hera. First of all, for hosting his own tournament, so kudos to him. I don't know if he's ever done that before. Maybe he has, but... and number two, just in doing a tournament for non-AoE content creators, which is fantastic. I mean, let's introduce this game to as many people as we can. No. Okay, well, next... Oh, what is going on here? Okay, now, the Magyars. Their food decays. Anyway, I completely forgot to introduce the players. Sing, who I believe goes by SingSing on Twitch, and Wesing, I'm not sure exactly. But Sing is playing as the Magyars. We saw them the previous game. And Banana Panin. Banana Panin? We'll just call him Banana, playing as the Malay. Now, okay, the chat was discussing Malay. The ultimate spam civilization, in my opinion. I mean, you can talk about the Goths, you can talk about the Byzantines, and they are spam-centric. Yes, they are, but in my opinion, none spam as much as part of their meta as the Malay. Number one, incredibly cheap battle elephants. Number two, incredibly cheap and quickly trained Karambit units. And number three, a little upgrade called Forced Levy, which turns their militia line, even though they don't have champions, turns their two-handed swordsmen into trash food-only units. So they have three different options of spamming towards you. Now, they're all melee spam, whereas you could argue, you know, the Byzantines with their cheaper skirmishers, which are ranged, probably are a more diverse base of spamming. But I stand by what I said. The Malay are, in my opinion, the spam kings of Age of Empires 2, especially when it comes to elephants. Now, are we going to see elephants? Who knows? Who cares? It's going to be a fun game either way. Let's take a look at the bases. Sing. Okay. Open, but not really super open. Primary stone and gold to the rear. Extra stone patch to the north, where his opponent is already. I mean, he hasn't discovered where Sing is, but he is kind of just hanging out. Where is your extra gold? Both of them to the south. One of them kind of near the attack path between the bases. The distance is not great, which is good for spamming. And speaking of spamming, the Magyars with their cheap light cap can spam all the livelong day as well, which is not something we saw last game. We'll see if Sing makes use of that discount. For now, his villager is under attack. No loom for you, which means bad news bears for that villager, unless the second one comes. Where's your sword? Okay, well, he loses a villager right away. Scout down to 12 HP. Elos, we're kind of in between the first and the second game. We've got in the 1500s and the high 1400s. Let's take a look at the Malay base, because this is going to be interesting. Primary gold, nice and nestled in here in these two giant forests. Primary stone, secondary gold to the rear. And where's your third patch of gold? Also kind of near, but not really on the attack path between the two bases. Walling this in is going to be a bit more difficult, but easier at the front with these big, thick... Oh, it's a lush bamboo. Okay. Whereas there's going to be a bit more of an effort in the forward position by Sing to wall this in as the Magyar. So we'll see. Will we see spam? Will we see cav archers again? One thing I can tell you about the Malay, you're probably not going to get to see siege. Even though they do have bombard cannons with siege engineers. But let's see. My guess is some kind of melee. Whether it's elephant karambit or militia line. Not militia line right now. But let's see. Who knows? 1500 Elo, not sure if they'll lean into their unique units. Not sure if they'll lean into the strength. Or if they'll just play Age of Empires generally in the higher Elo. Not really a game of unique units, which is why I like Deathmatch, because it kind of forces you to have fun with those unique units. But generally, Age of Empires is, you know, mostly counter slash trash slash spam units. There's a lot of discussion on Reddit, for example, of, hey, it's time to nerf the skirmisher just because it's way too powerful of a trash unit. Okay, once bitten, twice shy. That is a big barracks, making sure that this one guy here does not get attacked by any more scouts. Speaking of scouts, he's in the rear. He's got the chickens underneath his watchful eye. And, oh, this was open? I don't think this is open. Okay, well, Mr. or Mrs. Banana, I'm not sure. Banana is walling this in. I'm not sure this is necessary, but okay. It is what it is. Better safe than sorry, I guess. In the forward position, we got a bit of a drush. Let's follow along with the three Club Kateers as they, or maybe not trigger the tiger. Yep. Did he manage to attack? Yeah, he did swipe a paw at one of these guys. Okay, now they're men-at-arms. Any upgrades? No, just armor. All right. We are about to have a skill check against our Magyar, who, to be fair, does have a stable, and to be fair, just managed to kill that one weak scout. So no more scouting for you. Blue is jumping in here blind. He has seen a little bit, but not the full wall off. Not that there is a full wall off at the moment. Let's see how Sing reacts to this. He's on the other side of the map, scouting his opponent's base. Ah, yikes. Run as fast as you can. You cannot outrun me. I'm the man-at-arms man. But, you know what you also can outrun is a TC. 2 armor is enough to save him, especially since there's only a few villagers in there. And now the scouts pounce on the weaker unit, will kill him. Hopefully not engage. Yeah, exactly. Run back away. The scouting scout is returning home as well. Okay, well, Sing picks off a third of his opponent's army. And now, I don't know. Can he take this? Maybe on the high ground. Let's find out. Both players maneuvering, positioning. Yeah. Well, that was easy. That didn't require much effort. No more army for blue, whose spearmen are where? Okay, one guy is defending an area that's already walled in. Tell me the second one isn't there. Where is the second one? You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to control click on this one. Oh, that doesn't work in Capture H? Oh, there he is. Okay, so 2 spearmen in 2 very useless locations. Now he's going to move forward. But Sing's on the attack. 4 kills so far. 2 villager kills by blue. 0 by Sing so far. And his opponent has created a funnel. So he said, you know what? I don't want to even bother walling this whole thing in. I'm safe in the front. I'm safe up top. I'm just going to create a funnel. But again, welcome to Age of Empires, where nothing makes sense. I thought that was walled, but no, now there's a palisade. I love this gate forcing red to go through the town center. Now red's kind of stuck unless, hey, you never know. You never know. Well, I guess you kind of know now. I deleted the palisades here, realizing that it was in fact walled in already. And I love when players do this. Sing distracting the spearman who was right-clicked onto a specific scout and then died chasing that scout. I love when players do that. Now, this is not necessary at all. Not at the moment. Those units are not going to dive underneath a TC. Okay, okay. Spearman gets one. He'll get the second, and he'll get the third. Hero Spearman from the Banana Man, whose base is now unnecessarily carved into two pieces. It is what it is. For his part, using a bit of wood to kind of, but not really, wall himself in. Forward position is now walled in. Might want to create a gate somewhere where his units can actually run in and out of the base if they need to. Right now, the using structures as part of the wall off is great. You can exit here, you can exit here, but you can't do both. You can't run in and out if there's no gate or opening. Although, hey, you never know. In Age of Empires, there might be a gap between this house and this stable, so. Wall off continues. Loom for blue, Horse Collar for red. Both players starting to gather their resources. Our Magyar has the gold, does not have the food yet. But with 17 villagers on food, it's only a matter of time until I finish this sentence, and he will go up to the Castle Age, whereas Banana is doubling down on Feudal with Wheelbarrow. That eats into your food count. Who cares about wood, but food? Boy, oh boy, if I'm not mistaken, 175 wood. I guess I could... Is that... Does it show? No, it just shows the last one, not the ones before it. If I'm not mistaken, 175 food. Now, to be fair, you are playing against the melee, and you can click up the castle quicker, but that doesn't necessarily mean you're going to get to castle quicker, just because the melee do... Where are you? A third. Oops. I pointed at the wrong... I was minus 33 plus 66. It's all numbers to me. Advancing to the next stage is a lot faster. And so they can start at a deficit behind and just catch up immediately. That being said, to click up the Castle Age, you need the resources for it. And Blue does not have the resources. He dumped a bunch of his gold into these archers, and he's continuing to dump his gold into archers, which is good for his food count, but not so good for his gold count. This is this open? You'd like to think it's not, but who the hell knows anymore? So these archers are going to bust in. We're going to find out if there's a gap there or not. And if there is, these villagers are in trouble. If they're not, the archers have just wasted a whole bunch of time. More archers being trained. There's a market. He's going to sell some of his wood, stone, something to go up to get the gold for his age uppery. Market goes down for our Magyar. Okay. To be fair, there's not much these archers can really do here, except maybe park their butts over here, maybe over here, and kill some farmers. But he decides against that. Now he's going to pivot to a different location. Now, to be fair, the Malay foot archer is fantastic. They have all of the upgrades that they need for their foot archers. No unique text. That's more the infantry armor upgrades free. But boy, oh boy, is their foot archer game fairly strong. Wall off to the rear. He does not want to get sideswiped by the Magyars. You do not want to give a civilization that has a discount on raiding units any opportunity to raid. Especially when now we're adding armor upgrades to those free attack upgrades, and we're going knights. So crossbows versus knights. Let's see how that all works out for these players. We do have a few spearmen left. I don't see him training or desirous of training anymore. Bloodlines as well. So we're going melee cavalry. Last game we saw ranged cavalry. Oh, and he parks his butt right here in the corner. But a feudal age archer versus +1 armor knights. Yeah, that's what happens. That is exactly what happens. Maybe delete one of these palisades? Maybe build a gate here? Something? How does Sing exit and enter his base? I mean, this is all walled in. This, I'm going to assume, is all walled in. He has no way in and out of his base. How? Okay. Well, let's see how that works out for him. Spearman poking away. Crossman as well. Not Saracen with the attack bonus against this, but they'll get the job done. No high ground here for him to use anyway. And what will Red do right now? He has no army here. His army's across the map trying to bust into the Malay base. He notices the threat. He immediately pivots. And goes towards these villagers who are trying to build a very last-minute emergency housing construction project to just stop these crossbowmen. More knights are being trained. They are here. They do have 4 pierce armor against the meager 7 attack. So 3 damage to a unit that should have 120 HP is, yeah, it's going to be hard for these crossbowmen now. The spearman becoming pike will help out very shortly, or short-lived. Yeah, Blue's army is gone. Does he at least see the TC here? Yeah, he sees the TC. So he gets a bit of scouting. Knows that his opponent's adding a TC there to the rear, which he might want to abuse by, I don't know, maybe placing units over here. Army counts kind of reset. More foot archers for our Malay. Okay. Crossbowmen versus knights. Second time I'm saying that. Players continue expanding with double TCs. At least Blue has a way in and out of his base. This is now, I mean, Banana did Sing a favor. Am I wrong? There's no way into this base or out of this base except now here on the right side. The forward position's completely closed. Oh, never mind. He opened this. He opened this up. University as well for what? Are you just a requisite structure, or are you actually going to start researching something? Absolutely not. Third TC to the rear. And this is where the resource location gets real good here for our Malay. Whereas for our Magyar, yeah, this is so exposed. Now, he is in a corner, which means he can carve off a good chunk of the base. On the other hand, Blue does have extra gold here to the rear of his base, so he can expand. Has he seen it is a different question. Yes, he has. So he knows anytime he wants to, he can just go off campus and get more gold. House will go down unless it's repaired. I love 3 villagers repairing it. Will it be enough? 230, 230, 230, 230, just barely. Ah, he says forget it. The monk with 9 range is a fairly good counter to the slower moving knights with no range. Oh, last minute. I love the stone wall, not a palisade. But the crossmen are back. Oh, no. That's going to be a lot of dead villagers. 6, 7, 8. No ballistics means it's going to stop at 8. Okay. So you're pulling villagers off the production, off their farming duties. Now you're pulling 6 villagers off. Remember, these are, again, Magyar Knights, so they automatically have iron casting right now, which means they are deadly at destroying houses. We are in castle, so that -1 melee armor has actually become 1, because otherwise it just wouldn't be fair. The crossbowmen are in. The crossbowmen are in, and the Magyar eco is stalling a little bit here on the center right. Okay, Banana's focusing on the palisade. But now with ballistics, should be able to completely one-shot these cav archers, if I'm not mistaken. Especially if he brings these other 3. But looks like he's more interested in just parking them outside, being an annoying pain in the butt. On the other hand, the knights have done absolutely no damage on the other side of the map, and they are returning home. Sing's eco is in real bad shape. He's down 16 vil kills to none. On top of that, the Malay, who, oh, okay, he's channeling Flux here, is housed at 110. Oh no, why did you ungarrison those villagers? Knights are running home. What are the upgrades on them in terms of both stable techs, bloodlines, and husbandry? So they're thicker, they're faster. Let's see how quick they can get here, because again, they can absolutely wreck this army. Now they're +2/+2. And I mean, the crossmen are +2/+2 as well, but when you start with a base of 0, +2 is not really that great. And then Mangina comes out. Okay, Sing wants the pancakes. He wants to completely wreck this. Blue is training 8 villagers at a time. Red is training 5 villagers at a time when he's already down significantly in villager count. Magyar army closing in. Will the Mangonel do damage to his own units? Yes, it looks like he just hit a bunch of knights. Okay, that was a fantastic hit, but I think it killed one of his knights, or the knight died to the crossbowman. Either way, a few knights perish. Cav archers join in. Mangonel gets 3 kills. But hey, one army dies. Resurrect another one. Why the hell not? High ground crossbowman +2/+2. No relics for either player, even though blue has 3 monks. They're kind of hanging out here. They're there to defend against a knight push. Another rear-facing TC. This time by blue, who's got to be careful. Let's see if he reacts in time. He does not. Loses a crossbowman. And now gets shoot away. Oh no, oh no. Delete some of your own palisades. Don't run through a 1-tile area against 15 crossbowmen. Market going up as well. Okay, well, Imperial Age for our Malay, who again goes up almost twice as fast. Lemmy, long time. How are you? I am doing well. I am very excited. This live stream, I am the last 3 games we're gonna watch. This is the 3rd game. The last 3 are just I'm just gonna nerd out so much. It's gonna be uncomfortable for people. It is going to be very, very uncomfortable. Now, the pikemen would have normally been a bit of a deterrent, like a little tiny bit of a deterrent, but now absolutely not, especially not since Cav archers come with a +2 attack against them. Bodkin, ballistics. Sing is behind 24 villagers, 60 to 84, and he is going to discover that his opponent not only has a castle here. Ouch! Ouch! That is this game, Welcome to Age of Empires, where your unit is outside the radius of the building, but because the building fired when it was maybe like an inch on the radius, it still kills it. 3rd TC for him. But anyway, he's down 63 to 89 villagers, down 2 TCs to 3, 3 to 4 once these 2 are completed. But more importantly, 19 crossbowmen are going to have bracer, are going to become bracer full arbalesters, and that is going to be very, very rough for Castle Age to deal with, because arbalesters are not expensive, fairly mobile, and boy do they maybe not pack a capital P punch. They're not exactly Mike Tyson, but they are fairly strong in terms of fighting Castle Age units, even knights. Even that 4 armor on a knight is not going to be fantastic. So Sing is doubling down in the Castle Age where he is. If your opponent hits Imperial before you do, I mean, if you're in Feudal, then GG. If you're in Dark Age, GG. But if you're in Castle Age and your opponent hits Feudal before you, unless you see some massive, massive ball heading your way, and by massive I don't mean 19 arbalesters, which should be enough to be able, I believe, to destroy a Mangonel. Maybe not in one shot, but destroy it nonetheless. You have a few options. You can either rush to Imperial yourself. You can double down on Castle Age, which is what it seemed like Red was doing with more armor upgrades for his Cav archers. Or you can GG, which is the least fun option for us viewing the game. So let's see. He is doubling down in Castle Age with a castle. To be fair, Sing does have 20 villagers on gold. And his opponent is stopping to attack a stable. So, okay. Well, bye-bye a little bit of wood. Once that stable eventually does fall. Right now, it's very much still standing. And Sing is trying to bust into here. There's not much to defend. Where are those monks that he had? I don't know why it took me over here. I think the monks are just out on the map getting relics. So a really bad time. He stopped the castle. Oh, it looks like there weren't enough villagers, and the ones that survived ran away. Now, to be fair, blue is losing a lot of these arbalesters. They're getting two-shotted, two-shit by that DC. Blue's economy is also stalling a little bit, but that's okay. He's ahead 34 villagers, almost 50% bigger eco as he continues to gather and collect his relics. Castle will go up. Not too sure the Magyar Hussar is what you really need at this moment, if that's in fact what we're gonna see. Yeah, Sing's eco, I mean, he's down 24 vills, 25 vills in the kill count, which explains a bit of his deficit, let's say. He's also in the base, so that deficit might actually narrow here. Unless he's not paying attention, goes into PC fire or Arbalester fire. Well, Sing has an opportunity here. He's got to get his idols in back to work, but he does have a castle which defends against anything and everything that the Malay can throw at him right now with only 20 Arbalesters. They're not going to do anything against the castle. He's also mining gold over here. Has he seen the gold up here? He has. Okay, so he knows he can always pivot there. He's also in this base causing trouble. Going after a monk, not bad. Okay, and by Expeditionary Force. So Magyar, despite going heavy on the melee upgrades, which, to be fair, half of them are free of charge, is now pivoting to Cavalry Archers, but he's not training anything. He is saving resources. He wants to go up to Imperial. Okay, he's just a little bit of food away from being able to go up to Imperial, but then, boy, oh boy, is he going to have to wait. The micro here out of Sing is good. Now, Cav Archers do have a lot more HP than Arbalesters, so they can tank a lot. The armor upgrades are not the same, though. Okay. So, quiet. All's quiet on the eastern front, northeastern front here. We've got now 4 TCs to 3, 2 castles, no karambits, knights doubling down on our range units. What the hell is this? Okay, well, we've got a... look, I'm going to give Banana kudos for a stone wall. You like to imagine these Cav Archers could have gone and killed this one annoying Arbalester, but Banana's giving Sing an opportunity to get back into this by walling. He must have seen the score drop. I mean, the score's fairly low right now for Sing compared to his opponent, but he must have seen the score drop and wonder, hey, I know you're going up to Imperial. The last thing I need is a bunch of super cheap tanky Hussars with all the upgrades on them raiding my base. And so I'm just going to wall in. This is a very interesting thing to do here. The question is, did Sing let go of the gas pedal? Did he take his foot off the gas, I think is the expression. Sometimes I mangle these expressions to the point where like I sound like I haven't picked up a book in my life. But did he take his foot off the gas too much? Did the car idle too much? Because his opponent in 40 seconds is going to be an Imperial Age. To be fair, eco upgrades completely horrible for Sing. He has had to focus all of his resources on just trying to keep his economy alive. But he is going to be an Imperial Age Magyar. He has been kicked off of here. And beautiful spread here by Banana. Look at that. He's going to catch villagers on a wide, wide angle. We got a knight scouting. Not a Frankish knight, so line of sight isn't great. Immediately Bracer. That's all he can afford at the moment. But he does have enough wood and gold for more and more units. So, Arbalester... hey, remember when like 20 minutes ago I said I think our Malay is going to go melee units? Yeah, I remember that too, unfortunately. Ooh, one villager does escape the massacre. Let's see if these Arbalesters with their ridiculous line of sight are going to see him. Of course they are. Will they catch him is a different question. Blue, blue, blue. Well, red notices and immediately turns around. Unfortunately for him, there's a few more units, including a knight. Well, the knight seems to be heading straight for the villager. So he seems to maybe know he's there. Nope. Yep. Nope. Yep. Yes, he does. No, he doesn't. I mean, I know there's something going on out on the map, but how can you take your eyes off of this? They're just kind of hanging out. Did blue give red an opportunity to get back into this? Is there even a scenario where that's possible when you're at 200 population versus 100? Chemistry now for our Magyar, who's going up more and more cavalry. So he's dumping his money into upgrades. He's saying quality over quantity as he fights from the low ground against a better upgraded unit. Okay, rushes in. Cav Archers will take the first battle. Will they take the second here? Oh, look at that. Sing with the micro. Not the first time we've seen him micro a small group to distract. And that is exactly what he does, but will he lose this? Now he's on the high ground. Knight. Deadville. Finally. Elephants. Sorry, I'm singing my son's, I am singing my son's children's music. which I think it's a Barney song if I'm not mistaken. Elephants. Anyway, siege workshops, elephants, castle, another castle, blue. Deciding, okay, you know what? I've given you too much time. I don't want you back into this. I'm tired of you killing my arbalesters. I'm going up to 60 arbalesters, getting siege engineers. I don't think he even needs that at this point. But here we go. Elite battle elephants. To be fair, their armor is absolutely shit. When the developers give it, the developers taketh away. And one thing they take away when your elephants are discounted 35% is your armor. So you can see this gap here on the top left of your screen where my mouse is circling. The elephants are coming in. The cav archers, there are 24 going up to 30. But they're over here. No, what are you doing over here? First of all, how the hell did you even get in here? What was the point of this wall? This isn't walled in. What the hell was the point of this? Lumberjacks, when your opponent is going elephants. Okay, we've got a few cav archers back home. They will kill these elephants fairly quickly. This is where the chunky nature of that HP comes into play. I mean, if these were Persian elephants, Vietnamese, they'd be in a rough spot, these Magyar cav archers. But because of that really, really bad armor, they can do a good job. Now, he has to get the hell out of here and go back home. No! 1, 2... One more volley. Okay. Loses 2. Sets up his cav archers on the periphery. Okay, now he's finally going after farmers, which is good. The problem is he doesn't have anything to counter this giant death ball. 51 arbalesters are going to protect the Treb. And even though it's firing one ball at a time, it doesn't really matter because there's no way Red can engage into this right now. And without a castle, there is no recurve bow. And without recurve bow... Well, pardon me. He did get recurve bow. Sing, I apologize. There is a castle. Oh my goodness. I swear I know this game. Let's see what he can pull out here. He's down a third of the eco. He's down a third or half of the army count. His tertiary gold is getting keep. There's bombard cannons now out on the field. And that's where the siege engineers are going to come in real useful. Arbalesters as well. Sing is on the high ground. He's focusing on the gold miners. But he's losing a bunch of cav archers for it. 2 streams in 1 week? Yeah, I'm trying. Every chance I can. Cav archers. To be fair, army counts are getting closer and closer, but the HP on these cav archers can't be great. They're also not heavy at all. Bombard cannons need to be taken care of. They cannot continue shelling away at this army willy-nilly. One cav archer here will die to the castle fairly quickly, unless he manages to evade. Yeah, he manages to evade. Farmer's still under attack. House is under attack. Cav archer, not sure if this was converted. Probably converted. Who's kidding who? Looking at the upgrades. Melee Knight. Red is not noticing that his villager, his community here is under attack. Center of his base has been breached, but again, the elephants with a 4 armor against the +5. Yeah. Sorry, did I say 12 attack? Yeah, I was thinking heavy cav archers. These are just basic. So these are 11 attack. Oh no, we ran out of wood. Ran out of wood. Okay, he still has 1,800, but where the hell are you going to go now? Any lumber camp here is going to get destroyed by the bombard cannon and the Treb. Sing is on his back foot here. 67. To be fair, he's killed a lot. He's killed a lot of villagers of his opponent. He has massacred the arbalesters. He has gotten as much use out of these cav archers as he possibly could have, I think. Unfortunately, no more gold. Arbalesters still firing. Elephants closing. And he is down to 12 army count. His villager community here is going to get took. And he's taking wood from over here. None of that is good. None of that spells healthy economy. Wow, what a fun game. So I said melee, and there you go. We saw some melee. Fully upgraded elite battle elephants. Actually, are they fully upgraded? Yes, they are. They do have husbandry. Wow. Well, Sing, to be fair, on the back foot almost the entire game. I would say after maybe the 20-minute mark of the game, on the back foot, and just did as much as he could. Those Cav Archers were fantastic. At the end of the day, 63 Vil kills to 90. I mean, it's not good, but it's better than another number that it could be. It could be like 0 to 90. Holy moly. He did as much as he could. He killed a lot. I wouldn't be surprised if the kill count, Sings is 233 to 195. Unfortunately, that's just one factor in this game. Banana with a really low APM, but Arbalesters, double the Arbalester count of his Cav Archers. Then you throw in a bunch of fully upgraded elephants, and that is bad news bear. Obi-Wan. Yeah, I'm glad you could join. World Cup starts tomorrow. Nice. Right, I saw they were playing a bunch of show matches or friendlies or whatever they call it in soccer/football. Eco, this is going to be embarrassing. This is going to be real bad. All 4 resources with 30, almost 26,000, 26,500 more resources going to our Malay. But yeah, this is the ability of the Malay. Now, I don't know that they necessarily can spam Arbalesters better or worse than anyone else. They're not exactly the Britons with their quicker working archery ranges, but they still spammed. And look at the minimap. Yeah, red was in a corner. There's pluses and minuses of being in a corner. I think it makes walling a little bit easier, but again, you are in a corner. And boy, oh boy, for a player with 7 castles, or 6 castles, we didn't see a single karambit. Okay, well, there you go. What a fun game. What an absolutely fun game. And again, kudos to Sing. He got as much damage with these Cav Archers, got as much damage done with the Cav Archers as he possibly could have. And 8 kills, elephants pushing back while Arbalesters fill in the gap. Like, this is classic Malay. You push your elephants in, they tank with that 300 HP because they don't have bloodlines for 320. They tank, and then while they're taking arrow fire, they're like Hussite wagons. They take the fire, and then your archers or other units come in. In this case, it was Arbalesters. The Treb, was it moving this way? Let's rewind. Yeah, okay, so it was starting to move towards the castle as well. He must have seen the castle, of course he did. Wow, what a fun game. And now, yeah, that res difference is insane, especially when you're using that res difference as the Malay. It's not like the Saracens, where like their army is one of the most expensive armies in the game. This is the Malay. You're talking 35% discount on elephants, on top of which you don't really have to pay for the armor upgrades because you don't even get those armor upgrades, so that buys you a few more elephants. Yeah, there's a bunch of upgrades you don't get, which saves you, I guess, is the silver lining is that it saves you money so that you can train more elephants. But the reason it went so long is just because 2 things. Blue took the foot off the gas once he hit Imperial for some reason, and that gave Red a second opportunity to just mass his Cav Archers. Do I think it was the right play to go across the field and massacre them? Maybe not. Look at the res. At the end of the day, 4,000 food and wood. But ultimately, yeah, it didn't really work out, despite a fantastic showing here by Sing. So yeah, let's move on to the next game. I'm just going to mute the microphone for a second to have a sip of water. Put some Drixerol in my nose, just because my nose is starting to get clogged. And I'll be back in a sec as I set up the next game, which now we're getting into my nerdy... The nerdy part of the live stream. Just bear with me 1 second. Okay, these next 3 games are going to be 3 StarCraft creators, or content creators, that I just absolutely love. 2 of them are the reasons. 2 of them are the reason, pardon me, not the reasons, the reason that I got into casting in the first place. And I'm not exaggerating. Bear with me, I'm just typing in their Elos. So we're going back to a bit of a higher Elo play. And I'm going to hit the start button and I'll get into it. All right. So, by the way, is the volume okay? Is the sound quality all right? Let me know if you can hear me well, if there's reverb. I'm going to try to buy what's called some kind of screen for my microphone so that it doesn't reverberate from my wood floors and ceiling and such. So I'm saving my favorite for the last two games, but right now we are watching one of my, I would say my second favorite Terran player from StarCraft 2, Uthermal. I mean, you gotta, if you're talking Terrans in StarCraft, you gotta give a number one spot to Maru. I don't think anyone really can compare to Maru, but Uthermal, a very, very close second in terms of my favorite casters, and now trying his hand at our game. And I believe, if I'm not mistaken, that Uthermal was coached by T90, I believe. And so the Terran StarCraft player here is playing Koreans in red, taking on, oh goodness gracious, Tepiyolotl. Tepiyolot? If this is like the Axolot or Ashalot warrior, I'm just going to ignore the L at the end. Tepiyolot. Oh, that's gonna be real hard for me. I'm just going to say Tepe. So Tepe is the Berbers taking on the Koreans. We have a battle of the discounts here. The Berber, all of their stable units 15-20% cheaper, whereas the Koreans, all of their everything, infantry and range, are 50% less wood. So we really have a battle here of discounts. And Berbers are just such a cool civ. Faster villagers. The camel archers are just an absolute beast of a unit. John Yang, how are you? How's my volume? Is it good? Can you hear me? But yeah, holy moly, Uthermal. Welcome to Age of Empires. Like I said, my second favorite. I hope I'm not offending him or anything by saying he's my second favorite. I mean, but again, I just, as a viewer of StarCraft, Maru is just my number one favorite Terran player. That's like, you know, when you're talking about the Zerg. If Cyril isn't your favorite Zerg player, I don't know what. You're talking smack. Tepe, I'm just gonna call him Tepe. Kind of knows where his opponent is. He saw a house, just barely missed the TC. Uthermal not garrisoning his villagers. We're back into a higher Elo matchup of the 1700s. 1701 versus 1693. So basically the same Elo. Uthermal now discovering where his opponent is, seeing the gold, the wood. And let's take a look at those bases and see what we can tell, because Uthermal's base, the classic plus sign, a little bit of knobs of wood in the never eat shredded wheats section of his base. Primary gold to the back, and that's about it. Ugh. X marks the spot for your stone to the top left. Secondary gold all the way to the front. Tertiary gold all the way up here. Not a great base for Uthermal. That being said, Tepe's base doesn't look... I mean, this is actually a much better base. Gold safe to the south, primary stone to the back, and the Berbers, if you want to start going camel archers, need their stone. And the forests also in the never eat shredded wheat, although a little askance. This is like in the top right, the northeast, the southeast, the southwest, and the south... Pardon me. What the hell am I talking about? The northeast, the southeast, the southwest, and the northwest, as opposed to the northeast, southwest. I do know my directions. I do know my math. I do speak English. I do apologize for all these stuttering mistakes. I woke up today at 5:20 to get my my boy out of bed, and so my brain is whatever it is when I wake up at 5:20 in the morning. Attack path here, fairly straightforward. A few clumps of trees here and there, a bit of high ground in the center. So these are two ranged civilizations on the whole, I would say. Towers and archers and cavalry cav archers and camel archers and genitors, which, if you're not familiar with genitors, are mounted skirmishers that basically are fantastic at being super annoying because they come with all the counter features of a skirmisher, but with the mobility of a scout. On the other hand, you have somebody who's micros Terrans for a living. So I don't know. This is going to be... I'm really curious to see how Uthermal handles this. And by this, I mean Age of Empires. By the way, I should point out, once again, two things. Number one, again, this is part of Hera's bigger tournament. It's I apologize. I haven't even mentioned the name. It's called the King's Gauntlet. That's the name of Hera's tournament, where he has invited a bunch of non-Age of Empires streamers and casters and content creators to try their hand at Age of Empires. And so Elos range across the board. Some are 1693, some we've seen are like 1200, some are 1500. Our Korean is drushing, loses the first unit, gets revenge instantaneously, and now has 3 men-at-arms. But, ooh, Tepe manages to block, loses a bunch of HP. This guy's just shadowing. He is shadowing these men-at-arms. I don't think I've ever seen that, even in a high elo game. That is actually a very interesting little move here by Tepe. I've never seen a villager just parallel moving next to these men-at-arms just to make sure if they ever try to dive in that he can wall them out ASAP. Oh, he went for the weaker one and he got him. Okay, I mean, this is 1700 elo. I am very impressed. I am very, very impressed. With Teal, I should say. So far, Uthermal still moving forward. Has lost 2 of his attacking units, 3 of his attacking units, and now will lose his 4th. It does look like there were a few units out on the map that wanted to move forward. An archer moves forward, an archer moves back. Okay. So there you go. Wood discount coming in real handy. Yeah, I think Uthermal realized that this archer wasn't really going anywhere. By the way, he hasn't even attempted to wall in his base. Both players in Feudal Age. I'm not sure why Capture Age recently, the edges of the screen are kind of blurred out. In team games, it blurs out their team scores, and in 1v1 it blurs out the age icon, but whatever. You can look at the top, you can just look at the architecture of the buildings and see what age you're in. But let's see Uthermal, come on. Let's see him micro. That's what I'm curious. I want to see, how does a StarCraft player manage to micro in a game like Age of Empires? Because Terrans, I would say, what, they're like the middle speed civilization. I mean, the Zerg are the fastest in terms of having to micro and split and all of this nonsense. The Protoss are very slow, and the Terrans are kind of in the middle. Like, you have your fast units, you've got your slow units. Okay, this is open. Okay, well, there's your micro shooing away these scouts. Yeah. Can chase just because that one scout is basically dead, but with 3 scouts, maybe not. So I'm curious to see how he micros. Archers, are they like Marines? Little ranged units that get stronger and stronger, but start out kind of meh. Okay, well, that one scout with a really low HP does get got. Tepe is walling in his base. I love this little base that he's walled in for himself. Gets the gold, gets the stone, and they can expand at his leisure. Oh, Lemon Bush is under attack here. Butterflies don't give a rat's butt. And now he's going to try to bust in his Uthermal. On the other hand, you have this base, which is pretty much as open as you can get, except for one little walled segment of gold. Is he going to keep walling this in here? He is housed. Oh, no. Supply blocked is our Terran. I can finally use that expression without, I guess, drawing the ire of age purists. John Yang, thank you so much for joining. I mean, I would say have fun at work, if that's something that's a thing. Palisade going up to wall in this segment as well. Might as well at this point just want to wall, create a funnel. But yeah, this is now it's completely open. Now he deleted that. I guess he realizes that his opponent isn't really raiding him. But again, with the Berbers, it's like with the Magyars. You got to expect some kind of unit on a horse or a camel heading your way. And boy, oh boy, camels can be super duper dangerous. That being said, against the Koreans, maybe not. Again, hey, you thought this was walled? I don't think so. This is not walled at all, but to be fair, now it's jammed with units. And now Uthermal is housed again. Oh, pardon me, I think my screen just went blank. Oops, sorry, I have to pause the game a second. I think my screen just went blank. Oh, goodness. That's the last thing I need right now is my screen to go blank. Okay, I'm back. Man, you really can't escape, like, technical difficulties. What the hell was that? Out of nowhere, my screen just dies. And then gets resurrected. Okay, skirmishers here are going to try to counter the 2 units that are specialized in countering. Or rather, they specialize in countering. But there might be too many archers here. Tepe might want to take the high ground and then sacrifice these units. Not too sure you want to pull them into the scouts, because the scouts are going to die as well. Okay, so he doesn't decide to sacrifice them. Decides to fight back. Might get another archer here for his troubles. Both players evading arrow fire fantastically, but when it's a straight line like that, you can't evade. Oh, but he's going to try to take the high ground here, and he's attacking a bear at the same time. The bear that's attacking the skirmishers is getting attacked by the scouts, who might want to stay away from the archers, who themselves are backing up because, oh, hey, why the hell would you risk your archers? You're a minute away from Castle Age. They're going to become crossbowmen. Uthermal needs more houses, and there's a tower to get rid of these skirmishers. How far along are we? Yeah, those skirmishers need to be careful. Now, again, they can always just hide underneath the tower, but then they'll get killed by the archers. Doesn't even really need to attack the house. This is open. You can just dive right in. Not that there's much to dive into, but tower is up. Skirmishers back. Let's see what's going on with our Berber base. Our Berber, who is still very, very far away, he says, from clicking up the Castle Age right as he clicks up. So Uthermal hits Castle Age right as his Berber opponent hits Castle Age. By the way, the Berber with 8 villagers on gold has a serious amount of gold. I expect very primo units out of Teal. Not this. This is not a primo unit with his little wooden shield and javelin. No, no, no. If you're going to hit Castle Age with 8 villagers on gold, I expect very, very heavy units here from you. That being said, if all your villagers die to a bunch of crossbowmen, my expectations might be very off. Skirmishers try to rear end the crossbowmen as a tower gets put down. Cancelled and loses the one. Oh no. Okay, so here's how Age of Empires works for those not familiar. If you build a structure, let's say it costs, I'm going to make it very simple, very inaccurate, but just an example. Let's say a building costs 100 wood to build. And let's say you finish 20% of it before you cancel it. You lose that 20% of wood, and you get back the 80% that's uncompleted, or incomplete, I guess. So you would get 80 wood back. So what happened there was he built the tower, one villager hit it with a hammer, so it was like 0.01% complete, or 0.1 or 0.5, and then he deleted it, and he lost the one stone, the 1%, 0.7% of the stone that he plopped down to build it in the first place. Why am I making such an issue of this? Is because usually if you're going to hit Castle Age with 200 stone, it's for 2 town centers. In this case, it's not for any town centers, but now he doesn't have the stone for 2 town centers because they're 100 stone each. Another villager bites the dust. Uthermal is being very, very annoying with these crossbowmen. At the same time, has completed the great northwestern wall here. Few more spotting houses, a siege workshop in the forward position. That being said, we are seeing genitors. Oh, they're such good units. Archers +4, spearmen +3, Mamelukes. Remember, skirmishers now counter, small C counter Mamelukes. So I guess they gave the same thing to genitors. Although if you're building genitors against Mamelukes, not good, because they're still on a horse. And they still have that cavalry armor, which the Mamelukes shred to pieces. So crossbowmen are not going to bust into here. There's nothing here that can be easily destroyed. Uthermal is spreading them around. He sees that there's a flag on the stable. He doesn't know what it is. But now is the time to go. You have +2/+2 Genitors. And this is where you need a gate. Because I bet you right now Tepe is thinking, I don't want to delete these houses to get my Genitors out. Because if I do, now all of a sudden I have a gap in my defenses. And that's a gap that can be exploited by my opponent. So I might as well delete them over here. Which is why you should always have a gate. At least in your forward position. Let's see, the Genitors. They are very, very hard to counter with crossbowmen. Almost impossible. Now, against everything else, they're not great. But what a beautiful... I love this unit. I mean, I say that about every unit in this game. Setting a battering ram alone means that these villagers are just going to gang up on it and kill it. So we'll keep an eye on that battering ram and the villagers that love it and hate it. But for now, Genitors still hasn't lost a single one. Are having their way, he says, as they lose the first one. Are having their way with this Korean army. Rocket cart, though. Okay, he's trying to stay in the minimum range of the rocket cart. Even though the Koreans, one of their things is their minimum range. Where are you? +1 range. No, wait a second. Am I high? Hey, Gray Shrimp. Well, he does get the rocket cart. I'm totally confused. Never mind. I am totally confused. Oh, the rocket cart gets it right at the end. The Genitors now have to run away. Looks like he did manage to get rid of that battering ram, but okay, I mean, I like the idea by Uthermal of these spotting houses, but houses have really bad vision. Like, they have a 1-tile, 2-tile vision. An outpost would be better. And let's see, now we get into a game of micro. Knights are going to go after the rocket cart. They're not even going to make it to the rocket cart, but at the same time, they are getting absolutely wrecked, the crossbowmen, by these Genitors who are trying to evade the rocket cart, while the rocket cart tries to fire at the Genitors. So 3 Knights, a bunch of Genitors for a bunch of crossbowmen. Nobody's losing any crazy amounts here. And there we go. Genitors, by the way, do cost a bit more food than your average skirmisher, just because, hey, there's a horse you have to feed. And bags of oats and apples and carrots and whatever else, or horses, I have no idea what horses eat, are expensive. Whereas a skirmisher, you know, eats off the land. Well, I guess a horse eats off the land too. I don't know. I'm going to stop with the analogies. Rocket cart, first of all, he misses. Does his opponent realize? Yes, he does. Oh, Uthermal. Okay, well, now we're finally in that stage of the game where I can see the Terran's micro. Still a Siege Workshop in front. Very forward TC. This is why he didn't even bother walling in his base. He knew, or wanted, I guess, was the plan, maybe to be as aggressive as possible. He's got to get rid of that rocket cart, because once he does, he's got another rocket cart to contend with. But once he gets rid of both, I guess, then he can finally deal with these annoying crossbowmen. Okay, the knight does close. Rocket cart does not come with any melee armor. Typical non-Teuton siege. And now Uthermal has to get the hell out of here. These crossmen might pick off the knight. Might pick off a reinforcing knight. Yeah, but they can't stick around here. The rocket cart's also, by the way, not even one-shotting the Genitors. Is he going to see the castle? Is he going to see the castle? Uthermal, don't run towards the castle. He runs towards the castle, giving his opponent vision. To be fair, I hate this castle location. Oh, goodness gracious. Red's army count, Uthermal's army count is basically nothing. But to be fair, this is his opponent's entire army as well. I am not a fan of this castle. Number one, aside from destroying a few houses and a mill, I don't know why I was going to say granary, but a mill, it doesn't do much. Number two, you've got a forest in front of it, which means if your opponent plops down any kind of siege here to destroy it, and by the way, the Berbers, speaking of siege, get bombard cannons with siege engineers. You can't do anything about it, because there's a big forest in between you and your opponent. So, not the biggest fan of castles in this position. I shouldn't say I hated it. That's a very strong word for a video game, but ouch. What a horrible way to die. You go to work. You spend an hour on the subway commuting. You get to work. You put your head down. You farm. You till your fields. You pick up whatever cabbage or whatever you pick up. And then out of nowhere, a bunch of rockets just absolutely destroy you from the back. I love the reload graphic. That is super cool. This game is just getting so beautiful. I'm so happy Hera decided to do this tournament and introduce the world, the broader RTS world. I mean, I'm sure all the StarCraft players know about Age of Empires just because these games all kind of came out at the same time. Warcraft and StarCraft and Agecraft and all this other craft. Everything's a craft. Crafty crafts. They all kind of came out in the late 90s, early 2000s. So everyone's kind of aware of these games. But having these pros actually play the game is fantastic. Oh, look at them crossing one another like a good basketball team, setting a screen. Knights closing on the rocket carts. Unfortunately, there is a castle here. Yeah, gotta back away. These guys can take castle fire with their 6 pierce armor, which is great. So Tepe is using these Genitors fantastically. That being said, the momentum here is still Uthermal, who has a 60% bigger economy, even though he's only killed 12 or 11 more villagers than his opponent. Now he's going to try to catch reinforcements, and here come the Fire Lancers. Okay, super cool unit, but I don't know, does he take? Yeah, he has Shock Infantry, which is an Eagle Warrior, but I don't think that these guys do any bonus damage to that. I don't think these units take any bonus damage from Genitors. What they do have after they fire their little initial volley of rocket fire, or fire, is no range at all. Elite skirmishers coming up for our Korean as well. Remember, all of these units that they're training are 50% less wood right now, except for the rocket carts. So, soft surround by Uthermal, just placing a few annoying crossbowmen, making sure he can keep an eye on his opponent, because look at his vision right now. He knows exactly, I mean, aside from missing here at the 3 o'clock position, he knows exactly where his opponent is, and exactly what his opponent wants to do, and exactly when his opponent will move out. But, good for Tepe, he's cleaning up these eyeballs, he's poking them out. It's funny, there's a, one of my favorite authors was Terry Pratchett, and he's got one of these the Discworld series. Oh, okay. Oh, he canceled it. I thought he got it with the first volley of rocket fire. That would have been an absolute sour mess here, and a sour loss for Tepe. But he basically models the Discworld pantheon after, I think, the Greeks and the Romans, and there's a god called Blind Io, the letters I-O, oh goodness, who has like a million eyes. I'm just thinking of Tepe poking out all these little eyeballs that Uthermal has all over the map. But Uthermal continues to stream his army. Army counts are fairly small for the 40-minute mark of the game. The ecos are not great for both players. They're particularly shitty for Tepe. And even though the Berber villagers do move faster, they're not, I don't think they like collect things faster, right? Yeah, they just move faster. They're not like the Romans or the Spanish. Okay, and he's finally going to build the castle right here. I love doubling down on Genitors. Might want to add, I mean, you've got 800 gold. Might want to add in a few camel archers. I mean, you got better upgrades on your range than you do on melee. And do you really want to start effing around with melee upgrades right now? Especially when you're dealing with fire lancers who absolutely shred melee. And here we go. Will a few villagers be enough when there's 3 skirmishers? Ooh. Trying to keep himself away from the fire lancers, but even more skirmishers arrive. I'm going to keep my mouse cued on the castle. Let's see how much he can finish here. If he can even finish. Why are these 1,700 players not making villagers? I have no idea. The economies are horrible for both players. I mean, Uthermal's finally at 3 figures, but yeah, he's managed to stop the castle from going up. That is sour, right as Tepe clicks up to Imperial Age. So, is that the right move here? Do you dump 1,800 frickin' resources into Imperial? I don't know if that's the right move. That is a lot of stuff that you can buy. A lot of upgrades you can get for 1,800 resources, especially when your opponent now has 47 army count, a bunch of trash units, half his army's in the middle of the map just hanging out, more houses for Uthermal. I love that he's just plopping houses wherever you go. Okay, Mangonel finally out. Will he get a good attack round? It does not. Oh, this is the last thing you want to do is fight Fire Lancers with Knights, but it kept them in place. Draw them into the castle. Uthermal's also clicking up to the Imperial Age a minute after his opponent. I love that he stopped this next wave, 82.5%. If this was a test score, I would bring it home. I would get yelled at. Why not A+, my father would say. 2 army count. You're looking at the entire army of the Berbers right now. This is what happens when you dump all of your resources into going up to Imperial so you can get a Treb. I don't know why he's going. Again, I don't know why he's going up to Imperial. Uthermal, I understand. You're the one putting the pressure. By Mangonel and a few Fire Lancers here. Oh, they fire that annoying rocket right into the face of the Knight. Ooh, ouch, ouchie, ouch. So he's going to come in here. He's going to build a castle. So he's going to secure the southern border. He's secured the northeastern border. Okay, immediately a Treb, immediately a second Mangonel. One's already trained, but where is your army? Bracer. Okay. Well, Pepe hit Castle Age with a whole bunch of gold. He's hitting Imperial with no gold. And even more villagers are coming out. But he's gonna hit his own villagers. Okay, let's see. Let's see if the Furious right... You gotta right-click, right-click. Somebody tell him that on Age of Empires, you can just right-click, 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 and have them derp out 90%. 92%. 93.3%, and down go even more villagers, and that's all she wrote. Oh, yeah. Well, there you go. Castle goes up. Gold is now no longer an option for our Berber, who, like I said, I love that he closed off his resources in the back, but he did not expand, or he was not able to expand. And to be fair, like, getting denied a castle with a bunch of trash units when you have Genitors, and I mean, Berbers still have skirmishers, not like you can't train those. But wow. Okay, well, Uthermal, look at the map, just didn't wall a single thing here. Towered one part of his gold because he saw a few skirmishers. That absolutely played no role in anything anymore. He's attacking with a shoelace here to the north. He's busted into the south, and he's denied the castle up here to the northwest. So yeah, no surprise with the GG here. Genitors, yeah, look at the numbers. Just the Berber never managed to get the numbers up, even though the APM is a lot higher. Eco's going to be real bad, isn't it? Let's see, 124 kills to 96, not the end of the world. Yeah, that is about 10,500 more eco. That's like 30 to 40% bigger eco off the top of my head, and all of the resources going to Uthermal. And there you go. Well, one of my favorite Terran players plays with the Koreans, and despite a little bit of early game questionable engagements, has finally overwhelmed his opponent. 70 army count is not something we see every day. Although, to be fair, 41 of that is skirmishers, which is why Reddit might be calling for the nerf of the skirmisher. He's also tiefing his opponent's tertiary gold, which we saw here in the kind of forward position. But that is game number 4. I mean, these players aren't terrible. I'm not going to lie. They're not... they're pretty good at this game. Okay, the last 2 games. The last 2 games, I'm going to pick one at random, are my 2 favorite casters of all time. I mean, I know as an Age of Empires person, I might be getting myself into trouble by saying this, but these are my 2 absolute favorite casters of all time. And if you've watched my videos and you hear how I speak, you'll know exactly why, because I've stolen a lot of vernacular from these 2. like a lot. The way I cast is heavily influenced by them. And so the first of the 2 is Pig. who, oh, I should know this, New Zealand or Australia, one of those two. I'm sorry if he's a Kiwi and I said he's Australian, and I'm sorry if he's Australian and I said he was a Kiwi. But Pig is playing in the north as the Bohemians in red, and BP Alex XX. Okay, we'll just call him Alex, playing to the south as the Mongols. Okay. So, two civilizations you do not want to run into in Imperial Age are playing on a map designed for Imperial Age. So, let's see how things go. The Bohemians. Boy, oh boy, towards the end of the game, do they get powerful. They have the strongest halberdier. Maybe one of the two or three. I mean, the Dravidian Woot Steel halberdier is pretty bad, but Spearman Line units dealing 25% more damage. Not that I expect to see Spearman Line units against the Mongols, unless Alex goes Step Lancer, Hussar raiding, all that. Camels are kind of mid, but it is what it is. Let's see if we see. But more importantly, with them comes their tech tree of gunpowder. So then not only do they move 15% faster, which is good because they have the Hussite wagon, the Haufnitze, and where are you, the hand cannoneer. Now, one thing I've always said about the Bohemians, I don't understand why the Burgundians get 25% more attack on their gunpowder units when the Bohemians are the gunpowder civ. Them and the Turks, their hand cannoneers feel like they should be at a 21 attack instead of a 17. But Pig, let's see how he handles this Bohemian. It's a bit of a death ball, slow-moving, destroy you civilization, and it could not be more different than this. The Mongols, the fastest siege units in the game, the fastest firing cav archers, if I'm not mistaken, right? I mean, even with civ bonuses, I think the where are you? Oh my goodness, cav archers attack 25% faster. The Mongols are the Mongols. You know when Memb says the Huns are the Huns. Well, the Mongols are very much the frickin' Mongols, and let's see. On a closed map, let's hope we get to Imperial, and let's hope that we get to see big battles. By the way, they finally introduced a bit of a odd landscape into Arena, where it's like half Arabia, half highlands, half snow. You got yourself a snowy pine right next to a dead a dead tree right next to, what is this, an oak. Man, Age of Empires really makes you good at recognizing trees and flora and fauna. You know, you go to the zoo and you're like, oh yeah, no, that's a wolf, that's a Komodo dragon, that's a llama, that's a. What are some of the new animals they have? Not the boars and the elephants. That's a javelina. Javelina's not new, but you know what I mean. All these new animals that they've introduced, the ones that are edible and the ones that are not. But as I was saying, very excited. These last two games are my nerding out. I wanted to title my thumbnail Nerdgasm, but I thought it would be a bit too much. These two games with Pig, and I'll reveal the last player when we get there. These are the two casters I would watch when I was, again, on a lunch break or at night or going to sleep or just had a minute. You know, I'm not going to say where most people sit on their phone all day these days, but I would do the same. And so to be able to cast them playing my favorite casters, playing my favorite game is about as cool as it could possibly get for me. So I'm very excited, very excited. Win or lose doesn't really matter. Elos 1500 here for both around 1500, low 1500s. I don't really care about that. I don't really care about the micro, the build orders, all this stuff. I just want to see Pig play AoE 2. No offense to Alex, his opponent, but I'm here for Pig. I mean, I say that which is funny because that's what I say when I walk into a pizza place. You guys got pepperoni? Because I'm here for Pig. And let's see how things go. Will they do the standard meta of fighting over the relics, rushing into Imperial, or will they not? So far, it seems like they're kind of. I mean, I don't think our Mongol is going to train all 6 villagers. He might cancel a bunch and then go up to Feudal Age. Is what some players do to mess around with their score on the board. Okay, Pig will be the first to click up with 22 villagers, 25 pop. Will he be housed? Will he use this opportunity to build more houses? So yeah, two good players here. One player I can't wait to see, and two fantastic late game civs. No, he actually is training all of these units, all these villagers. Okay. Well, he's gonna hit feudal age with a lot of vills. And to be fair, in arena, it generally evens out. Where did she think she was going? You know, you hit feudal age faster, but then while you build your structures, you train more villagers, or you train more villagers initially, and then when you hit feudal age, you don't need to gather as many resources, and you can just go up. So it kind of sometimes evens out. Now, I don't think I've seen a 6 villager disparity, 28 to 22 here. But let's see how it all shapes out. Relics, has Pig even left his base? So Alex has seen, it looks like 2 relics, here and here. Yeah, Pig hasn't even left his base. Okay. I believe Pig has also been coached by Hera, if I'm not mistaken. Hits feudal, his scout is faster, does hit harder than Teal's scout. And here we go, immediately blacksmith market combo. And there you go. So while he builds that, he's still training villagers. So here's the point I was trying to make earlier. Maybe I made it poorly, maybe I expressed myself poorly, which for somebody who expresses himself on camera is not a good thing. But when they hit castle age, oh, and he sold his stone also, so he's getting up to castle. So he's housed at 25, doesn't really matter. Again, can't really train anything unless he wants to train trade cards, which I don't think he will. Or I don't think he can with 1 gold, but here's the point I'm trying to make. When you hit castle age, will they have the same number of villagers? So he's going to hit castle age in 2 minutes with 25 villagers. His opponent already, well, okay. Maybe not in practice, but theoretically, maybe he'll buy the food once he hits, because he's got a lot of gold and a lot of stone too. The point is, once both the second person to hit castle age hits castle age, I think they're going to be at the same villager count. Maybe one player will be 1 or 2 vills ahead or behind, but I think it's ultimately it all kind of evens out. Oh no, he's still housed though. What's your opinion on Cumin 2TC in Arena? I love it. Anytime you can get away with anything in this game, I love it. So getting away with 2 TCs because you're behind a bunch of walls, I love. Plus, it gives you the opportunity to go big eco. Humans are kind of purpose-built for Arena, right? Like, they can push with rams early on. Their structures are super cheap to go up to the next stage. The archery range and the stable together will cost you 200 wood, as opposed to the usual 350. Okay, this this is totally unnecessary. This is really unnecessary. Okay, 649 stone for our Bohemian. Okay, so we're gonna see Hussite wagons. Hussite wagons against possible Mangudai play, because our Teal player also. So he hit with 25 villagers. Mongol. Anyway, I'm going to finish my thought. 666 stone. The sign of the beast. He's going to hit castle age. We'll see how many what the villager count when he does, because he's at a 4 villager high right now. And this is not a 4 villager lead, I should say. This is not like a team game where you get hand cart and wheelbarrow and all that stuff as early as possible. This is like a 1v1, so you're not getting those. So it's not like Pig has fewer villagers, but also has better upgrades. No. He just has fewer villagers, period. And they both have the same lumberjack upgrades. And it really seems like, look, now he's at a 2 villager deficit, but his opponent is only 50 seconds away. So again, for all those people that think, oh, this is, he's behind or he's ahead or this, at the end of the day, once our Mongol hits castle age, even though he's going to hit it later than his opponent, in terms of vill count only, like I'm only talking about villager count, they're both going to be at 30. Maybe Pig will be at 31. Because, I mean, maybe TC idle time isn't good compared to his opponent double. But this, with its gunpowder unit armor, or what am I saying, gunpowder unit? Siege weapon armor. against the Mongol Mangadai that specializes in killing siege. We'll see how that works out for him because, again, our Mongol does have the stone for a castle and immediately gets a castle. But yeah, to answer your question, 2TC human on Arena is amazing because it's just harder to punish when you're behind a stone wall. And when things are harder to punish, you know, you can get away with more. And so a 2TC human is just... It's a huge outlay of resources right at the beginning, but then once the dividends start paying out, boy, oh boy, are you just swamped. That 2TC, they can just, like, while they're going up the castle, they're just training villagers. It's something no one else can do. How annoying is it when you're going up to castle age to not be able to keep growing your eco? Can't research TC techs, can't train villagers. Not at all for the humans. I don't know why I'm circling the Mongols. Not at all for the humans, just because, yeah, they have a second TC that's operational. Third TC going up for our Bohemian to the back. Second TC already up with a monastery. Now we can start collecting these relics, even though that monk will run into a bunch of balls. And monks don't like balls, especially not as they're flying right at their face. In your experience, you hit castle age later than your opponent, but do you have, once you hit castle age, is your villager count the same as your opponent's? Because that's my point, is that if you don't research any tech upgrades, and your villager in feudal age has the same productivity as a villager in castle age, like if Pig had hit castle age earlier and immediately started researching like wheelbarrow, etc., that's one thing. But again, in a 1v1, that almost never happens. You hit castle age, you immediately start going for army upgrades. You keep training, pumping out villagers. And here come the Mangadai. Unfortunately for them, even with the bonus, this Hussite wagon is so freaking tanky. There's just so many hit points you have to destroy. Ooh, monk. So yeah, assuming no like eco upgrades, you might want to spread these units out though. You don't want to clump against the unit that doesn't have... You don't want to clump against the unit that fires multiple projectiles. Down goes the Hussite wagon, one of the coolest death animations in the game. 2 relics for Pig at the moment. He's going to go for a third. He did destroy... Did he destroy any of these? No, so he's going to find himself palisaded out. Okay, I guess I'm the idiot. I thought this was a waste of time, but no, it is not. Pig's returning with a third. By the way, Pig is where I got when I say things are cheeky. That's what this is who's responsible. Sorry, not this. This is who's responsible. So if you don't like that, write a letter to your congressman, or write a letter to Pig, and tell him how dare you use that word. My Age of Empires caster has used it as well, and I don't like it. Let's see the Mangadai if they discover the castle. No, they're veering off to the south. And now the eco upgrades are coming in. So this is where things, and he's housed, is our Bohemian in red. Total population identical. One player has a bit more army, one player has a bit more eco. Will the monk get to the relic and back before the Mangadai can snipe him? Will they even try to snipe him? Nope. They might once they see him coming. Let's see, are they going to go for the Haufnitzas or for... Okay, finally splits. Okay, every tile you get closer to your base is better. No, don't turn around. You could be over here right now. Okay, you can come back, though. Now Teal has no vision of this scout. Oh my god, of the scout of the relic. Mangadai count is climbing and getting very annoying and dangerous here. Yeah, now he doesn't know. He'll know when it disappears off his mini-map that it's been gotten. So, last relic left. I'm assuming Teal... What happened here? What the heck happened here? Maybe he just dropped it off inside his base, and now he's going to get the next one. But he's going to have to go through 2 mobile walls to do so. Great micro out of Teal. Pig just kind of hanging out. Okay, well, it's going to be 3 relics to 2 by the look of it. And now, stage 2 of the arena meta is over. We're even getting fervor for his monks. Okay. To be fair, as the Bohemians, you want to wait as long as possible to get your monk upgrades because they do have a unique tech called Hussite Reforms, expensive tech, but it does turn your monks and, most importantly, their technologies into trash. Now, a lot of, like we saw the melee with the Forced Levy, a lot of civs, I shouldn't say a lot, but a bunch of civs have unique techs and features that turn gold units into trash units, but I don't think any of them have the secondary feature of the Hussite reforms that monastery technologies are also trash. If you're familiar or not familiar, monastery techs are so ludicrously expensive, and they're all gold, which is the last thing when you're training a 100 gold unit for, what, all but one civ, they're 100 gold, right? If you're training a gold-intensive unit, and you're a civ that has Haufnitzas, which cost as much as going up to Imperial Age, which Pig is doing, the last thing you want to be doing is spending 3,000 extra gold on monk techs. So turning that into food only, I think is the only civ in the game that has a feature like that, right? There's no other civ whose unique tech or civ features turn technologies. Like, some technologies are cheaper, for example, like the Burgundians. Some, actually, no, I shouldn't say that. The Vietnamese one removes one of the components of the, I guess it turns it into a mono resource upgrade. Yeah, let me know in the chat, in the comments. Am I wrong? Is this the only unique tech that turns an entire tech tree into trash by making it only cost food? Is there another civ that does that turns, like, archer techs into only wood? Or, you know, cavalry techs into only food? Like, we saw the Burgundians get 50% off cavalry techs, but they still cost two different resources. Anyway, I'm going to stop harping on this. Imperial Age, our Mongol needs more food. Where is this monk going? Not too sure. Just hanging out. Enjoying a bit of sightseeing. And here we go. Oh, be still my heart. Alex. Alex, look at this. Look at the outposts. Everywhere. Anywhere and everywhere. More Hussite wagons for Pig, who is now an Imperial and does what immediately? Okay, going... Okay. Oh my god, how many wrong calls every single time I stream, every single time I make a video. I said we're probably not going to get to see halberdiers out of our Bohemian, and immediately Squires and Pikemen upgrade. And now we're getting 5 Pikemen. I don't know that this is necessarily the best thing to do against Mangudai. They do get a +1 bonus against Spearmen. It does zone them out. Nobody wants to fight pikemen with mounted units if they can avoid it. But, okay. It is what it is. Lumberjack upgrades, another barracks. We've got more and more siege workshops for bombard cannons. Now, like I said, upgrading the bombard cannons to Haufnitzas is expensive. It's basically the cost of going up to Imperial. Speaking of going up to Imperial, our Mongol with the second castle is going up to Imperial. 4 TCs to 3. Villager counts identical. Army counts very similar. I'd have to give this with enough micro to Alex. Just because of the, you know, never bet against Mangudai. But what did I also just see here? Wagenburg tactics. Okay, so Hussite wagon gonna move faster. Bombard cannon. Look how fast it moves. So another interesting on-paper matchup between a civ that has faster-moving specific siege units, the bombard cannons, versus a civ that has the fastest-moving siege units, which doesn't get bombard cannons because, you know, that would just be way too unfair with the Mongols. So we got the Battle of the Speedy Siege. Does he see the Mangudai here, which is why he's avoiding this? Well, outpost goes up. Villager comes under attack. And here we go. So, using his gold for the Halberdier upgrade instead of for the Haufnitza upgrade. About half the gold cost, I would say. Maybe 2/3 of the gold cost. Outpost will go down. Army counts identical. Pig's ahead about 7 villagers, expanding to the rear of his base. I love this. This is so how I would build houses. Pig and I are like so similar, like totally. I'm having so much fun right now. I know there's not there's not a lot of action happening on the map, and there's not a lot happening, even though we have Haufnitzas and bombard cannons and castles and Arctic gold foxes that shit gold wherever they go. And we have outposts all over the map, which is something I say I always want to see. Look at Blue's vision. Oh, it's so beautiful. But I don't know if you can tell by my voice. I'm incredibly excited. Scores are very similar. Yeah, like I said, Pig is one of the main reasons that I started casting Age of Empires. Pig and the next person we're going to watch. They are the two people responsible for me saying, hey, you know what? I love what these guys are doing. There's Haufnitsa, there's Elite Hussite Wagon, there's Drill to make the siege faster, there's Onager on its way. That's a good counter to Hussite Wagons, especially if you can move, etc. But yeah, watching these two streamers one day, I was like, you know what? They're so much fun to watch. I love watching them. Why don't I try this for Age of Empires? And then I did, and now I'm here, and now you're here, and now we're together watching these Hussite Wagons. Ooh, tentatively, should I, shouldn't I? Waiting for the Halberdiers to shove themselves in first. And now we're Haufnitzas, bigger and better everything. This is like the Texas model, the Cadillac of the bombard cannon world. Sure. Ooh, a good attack round out of our StarCraft caster. This is like the Cadillac model of the bombard cannon world. Sure, the Turks. Sure, the Ethiopians. Sure, the Saracens. But none have it quite as boomy boom as the Bohemians, although he does lose 2 immediately. Okay, resources are decent for both players. Here we go. Hussite Wagons moving in, but they're taking on 2 counter units. That being said, as the counter units counter the bombard cannons behind the Haufnitzas, do more damage. Alex is being a little bit too shy here. There's no Halberdiers in the front line. He can run in, especially with Onager support, and just keep sniping these Hussite Wagons. Without the Hussite Wagons, the bombards are exposed. He's got 32 Mangudai. I feel like they're fully upgraded. No, not quite yet. Still chemistry away from fully upgrading, but here we go. Yeah, this is exactly what he should be doing. Oh, gets a Hussite Wagon here in the rear, or rather a Haufnitsa here in the rear. Shoot, 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 shoot. Pig loses another one. Castle taking care of these Halberdiers. I mean, Pig is moving in hard. And these units do have an incredible amount of Pierce Armor, Huskar level. But now he's taking on lightning fast bumper car Onagers. Gonna get this one next. Oh, the castle might. So Pig's attack is stalled. The coordination could have been a little better with the Halberdiers moving forward. Even if you're moving into castle fire, that's what I said earlier. Age of Empires, you have to treat the units like toilet paper. They're just disposable. Flush them, shove them in, and keep your bombard cannons in the back. Imagine if you get shoved in with 20 Halberdiers, the Mangudai would need a few seconds to kill them all. Meanwhile, the Haufnitzas would be taking the castle down to maybe a third of its HP. Never be afraid. I mean, it's like politicians in real life. Never be afraid to send someone else into battle, you know? Here we go. Now shove in with the Halberdiers. Who cares? They're born to die. Okay. A few of them veer off to the south to deal with these bombard, or these honors. Oh, the clumping betrays him. Pig's attack will stall yet again. But here we go. The castle's down to 1,500 HP. Pig has map control. He's got 2,000 gold. He's got 56 vills on wood. So he's going to be able to pump out these gunpowder units ad infinitum. And bye-bye castle. And once that castle is gone, you're left with these two only. So a third of your production is gone. But yeah, okay. Alex knows he tried to get the last one, but couldn't. And this is what I mean with the Bohemians being a slow push civ. This is not the Cumans, as we were talking about earlier, with their lightning fast light cav. This is a civ of Guys holding big sticks that they have to carry. Very slow, heavy rolling wood, metal beasts. And even with Wagenberg tactics, these units don't move fast at all. Faster, but not fast. Okay, so far the scores are fairly similar, but it seems like Pig is dominating the location of the battles here on the east side of the map. On the west side, well, our Mongol is being uncontested, which may not necessarily be good. 11 Mangudai, 4 Onagers trading at the same time. Should he go up to Siege Onagers? If he can go up to Siege Onagers, that would be bye-bye to Pig's army. Wow, the Mangudai... I thought the Mangudai would be better at taking down these Hussite wagons, but no. Seems like that armor... Oh, here we go, here we go. Name of the game. Teal has to dodge Hafnitsa shots. At the same time, Red has to dodge Mangudai. Everyone has to dodge everything else. All the Onagers are dead. All the Mangudai are dead. And all of a sudden, army count completely gone for Teal. And now he's starting to lose structures over here. To what? To these Hafnitsas. Pig is in. The pig is in the chicken coop. And that's all it takes. Pig takes the game with a beautiful display of Bohemians, to be fair, though. A beautiful display of Mongols as well. But look at the kill count. 200 to 100. Even that is not enough to stop this absolute... I don't know if I could call it a death ball, per se. But let's say a rolling ball. I mean, there were units just constantly rolling in nonstop. Would be good to build some more infrastructure here, especially if you brought how many villagers forward. You're not a villager. I don't know why I clicked on you. You have 18 villagers. Well, 18 minus 9. You have 9 villagers here building structures. I like the castle. Immediately after the castle, 1, 2, 3 siege workshops, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 barracks. Maybe 2 siege workshops and 5 barracks is enough. Although I guess with 160 wood, you're not building any of those. And then you can reinforce, but you didn't have to reinforce because Alex tapped out. What a great game. And this is exactly what I was talking about. I hope we see late game, because we saw everything. We saw drill. We saw both unique techs, or rather one unique tech from the... I don't... my brain sometimes goes wonky compared to my mouth. And Pig managing to push in with that late game Bohemian army. Alex just never managed to get the onager hits that he needed. Both players microing their hearts out of trying to avoid. These guys were trying to avoid the flaming balls. The flaming balls were trying to kill them. Vice versa. Everyone's trying to avoid the Mangudai. Halberdiers are trying to close in on whatever the hell they can before their brief Firefly existence gets snuffed out. And that was a fun 5th game. So, yeah, thank you to the players. And like I said, this is one of the 2 casters, Pig, that I just absolutely love. And after I live stream, maybe when I have my lunch, I'll watch a Pig cast of some StarCraft. He does take all the resources except stone. Interesting. Just a little bit more for our Mongol, but look at the difference. 13,000, about 25% bigger eco for our Bohemian. Even though for the majority of the game, they did have the same sort of villager count, plus or minus a little bit, give or take. But yeah, let's hop into the last game. And I'm also incredibly excited. I mean, this is just... I don't know. I know my voice doesn't sound any different than it usually does, and I may or may not sound excited or not, but believe me, I am like a kid in a candy shop right now. I just absolutely love these 6 games that we've watched, and especially the last 2. No, I'm not like casting shade on all the other casters and players and streamers, but these 2 hold a special place in my heart. First was Pig, and now is Lowko, the Dutch. I believe he's Dutch. I should know this if I say I love these guys so much. I love watching these. I shouldn't say I love these guys. I love watching these guys. Lowko with the StarCraft 2 casting. Again, between him and Pig are the reasons I got into casting in the first place. So, thank you, Pig. Mate. And thank you to Lowko. I'm not even going to try to speak Dutch. Oh, boy. I know one word in Dutch, and it's natuurlijk. What a language. Anyway, Lowko playing as the Japanese in red, taking on Calitus. Cali playing as the Burgundians. So again, Burgundians this time with a new civ. This is the Japanese he's playing against. So will he go cavalry, in which case he'll get countered very easily by the Japanese? Will he go those insane hand cannoneers that I was mentioning last game? And then we'll see what happens. The Japanese do have some good counters to that. Anyway, let's not try to predict too much. Lowko with an Elo 1096 and Calitus with an, we're going to call them Cali, with an Elo of 1072. So on the lower end of the Elo today is the final game with the final two players. But again, wow, I can't believe I'm casting Lowko. Like this is crazy. Like 10 years ago, I would not have even imagined that I would just be number one that I would be casting Age of Empires at all, and number two that I would be casting this guy playing Age of Empires. I am just like fanboying out very hard right now. Goose placement is decent, but ideally want to get it around here. The way TCs work, again, if you're not familiar, they are 4 tiles by 4 tiles, but this corner is useless. This is like a dead zone. You can't send, it looks like you can send villagers into here, but you cannot. These 2 by 2 tiles. So it's really just this area, and this area. So this is a perfect place to get a boar, just because once you, if you need to drop off food, the villagers just drop it. They don't need to move anywhere. Whereas even with this, oh, this goose still has 27 food on it. Uh-oh. Any villager that's here needs to move even for a fraction of a second. So it's just a little bit of inefficiency. Whereas this is perfectly placed. If he hits the drop-off button, I believe all the villagers, except maybe this guy, will just glitch out for a second and then return. Whereas this guy will have to move in a third of a tile and then drop off his food. Oh, pardon me. Scouting here to the rear. Let's take a look at the bases. And primary gold to the rear. And that's basically it. Ay. Primary stone to the front. Extra gold to the right. Where even are the extra resource patches? Oh my goodness. Gold outside of the camp. Yeah, outside of the immediate area here. Blocked by forests and tertiary gold all the way off to the left. So not a great base in terms of res location, but does have 3 big forests. So wall off, wall off, wall off, and a wall off. Let's take a look at gray. Primary gold and primary stone kind of northeast, which is not bad. I mean, this is exposed, but it looks like he's already walling this in. Looks like Lowko is going to discover where his opponent is immediately. Well, that was pretty fast. His opponent has not left the immediate vicinity. He's still tracking, like NORAD tracks Santa. He's still tracking this family of geese. Lowko tries to go in, takes town center fire and back. So where are the extra resources? Okay, there's a patch of gold to the back. There's a patch of gold all the way to the front and stone. So these 2 patches of gold, one for Lowko and one for Cali, are in really shitty locations. In terms of walling off, 1, 2, 3, 4. So walling off is pretty much the same. Gray is in a bit of a corner, so he has room to expand in the back, whereas Lowko can only expand off to the sides. And let's see, the middle ground, lots of little hills and high ground trees. We'll see the direction these players want to go. Lately, we've been seeing a lot of Japanese with cav archers. Not too sure that's going to work against the Burgundians and their heavier cavalry. Not too sure if we're going to see heavy cavalry. I'm going to do what I always do and try to predict. I'm going to predict that, because this is what I want to see. I predict that our Burgundian will go Cavaliers and Castle Age. And I believe our Japanese, I'm hoping, will just do about 1,000 samurais. Because samurais now, if you're not keeping up with all the millions of changes, lightning fast attack, but has a charge into battle. So he's got his zealot legs, whatever the name of that upgrade is. Somebody let me know in the comments or in the chat. I forget what they're called, the zealot charge attack. But it's funny that a StarCraft caster would pick a civ that has that feature. Now, I believe Lowko is being coached by Lewis. So Lewis was coached by Hera. Lowko is being coached by Lewis. And so this is like, Plato, Aristotle, and hopefully for his sake, Alexander the Great. Just a chain of coaching and knowledge being passed down. Lowko skipping out on 1 villager, instead opting for a bit of a drush situation here. Does get up to feudal age quicker, but with one less villager. But that's okay. He's already got 3 in the queue. Bear gets activated. Army doesn't really care at the moment. Now it does. And let's see how much damage you can get done. Lots and lots of farms for our Burgundian right now, who in the Dark Age already has double bit axe. How cool is that feature? Like I said, it is definitely a stoner civilization. Somebody got real high. Oh my goodness, arson. Okay, so he wants to tear down structures as well. That's not an upgrade we usually see at the 10-minute mark of the game. That adds an attack bonus to these infantry units to structures. As I was saying for the third or fourth time, the Burgundians, definitely somebody got high and said, you know what? Let's give ecotechs an age earlier, and let's make them cheaper, and let's make their relics also generate food. And also, by the way, let's make their farmers generate gold. Oh yeah, and let's give them Cavalier in the Castle Age, one of the best hand cannoneers. And that's it. Alright, defensive tower, protecting what exactly? I don't know. Not the greatest location for a tower, especially not since there's high ground right here. And he could have taken advantage of this big empty space on the low ground. Ooh, villagers go in, Lowko, overstaying is welcome. Good reaction time from him. You know, I wish I could do a Dutch accent. And look how quickly these buildings are going to demolish, because technically we're in feudal, so the houses still have negative melee armor. Look how fast these houses are falling. And now he's going to go for the barracks. Probably better idea to go for the houses. How's your opponent? That's definitely a strategy. And remember, these are infantry units, so they attack 33% faster. Instead of one attack for 2 seconds, they do one in 1.5. What was I saying? Something about this tower being on the needing to be on the high ground. Lowko's reaction. So far, no kills. A little bit of action. Lowko's walled the front of his base, although whether this is fully walled is anybody's guess. Starting to wall off the east as well. The west completely open. On the other hand, our Burgundian says, forget walls. I'm just going to put a tower right next to my TC. Now that I think about it, there's 2 reasons why this is not a great location for a tower. Number one, it's not on the high ground. You want to keep it on the high ground if you can, just because, again... Oh, there's the first kill. Units on the high ground do bonus damage to units on the low ground. They take less damage from units on the low ground. So that's why you want it here. Alternatively, if you're going to put a tower in this area, put it here so that you don't need murder holes, because the TC's got your back. If you put the tower here... It's basically safe from any melee unit, because if they attack it, the town center will attack them. So, an odd location for a tower all around. Scouts are out. No attack upgrades, no armor upgrades, no military upgrades whatsoever for either player. Okay, Lowko continuing to wall in. Now going to completely enclose himself. I don't see any gates anywhere. Again, no way in, no way out. His army's still here, still wandering the desert of Arabia. 29 villagers, Lowko's at 34, so he's got a bigger eco. His opponent was housed there for a second. Eco upgrades, but galore. Bowsaw, horse collar. Horse collar is normal, but Bowsaw in feudal age is just going to ramp up this economy. So if our Grey Burgundian can somehow stick around for a while... Oh yeah, he did get a villager. Now he's going to get another villager, maybe. Definitely with the second scout coming in. So Lowko's in a bit of trouble. They both killed one vill of each other, but... Okay, never mind. Oh, yeah, there you go. This freaking game. This freaking game. This is why you want to drag your palisade line. And there you go. That's exactly what he does. He says, I don't even trust any of this shit. This bamboo looks like it's a tree, but no, it's part of the house. I'm just going to wall everything in. So he dragged the line of palisades here. Okay, good for him. Now, Lowko is housed at 45. So as I was saying, if the Burgundian can stick around, because he's getting eco upgrades at the cost of the quantity of villagers. He's down 33 to 37. He's down 3. I mean, this is his entire army. This is Lowko's entire army, too. Is this closed? It looks like it. But there's a big welcoming committee waiting for him if he busts in. Not that, okay, never mind. No more busting in for you. But if he can stick around, if he can drag this game out a little bit more, these eco upgrades are going to kick in significantly, especially with the double lumberjack upgrades with 12. I mean, his 12 right now are cutting like 13 or 14 of his opponents, which is good for Lowko because he's got 16, and there's that gate. Is there any mod that puts the tech upgrades at the top of the screen like it shows? I think there are some mods that do that. I've seen some live streamers have them, but I'm not sure what they're called. I'm not 100% sure. There's like different UI, user interface mods, but I'm not 100% sure what they're called. That is definitely something you would ask Reddit. Are you trying to go in here again? But this time, no dice. Okay. Serpentine shape here. He wants part of the hill, but not the full hill. Okay. Both players heading up to Castle Age roughly at the same time. Our Burgundian's down 4 villagers, but he's ahead in eco-techs. And so there you go. That makes sense. Still no army upgrades for either player. Still big, diverse armies composed of a bunch of different units. Our Japanese is going foot archers, it seems like. Our Burgundian sticking around with his cavalry. Not much ado. And does he have double anything except stables? No. So he's going to do a chicken nugget base where he just walls in a little enclave for himself. He's got his stone. He's got his gold. And like we saw with the Berber game earlier with Uthermal, I mean, he wasn't playing the Berbers, but his opponent was. This is fine in the short to medium term, but medium to long term, this is not great if you can't expand outwards, because you are giving your opponent area, basically saying, here's the line. So what do you think your opponent's going to do? He's just going to park out here and here, especially this big hill. And he's going to park out here on these hills. So you're sort of telling your opponent where to go with these wall-offs, which is normal. It's not, like, unique to these players. On the other hand, what do we have? 5 spearmen, 3 archers, 3 men-at-arms, and a scout. What is his vision? Okay, so he's seen 1, 2, 3 relics. His opponent has seen even fewer. And in a few seconds, both players will be in castle. Oh my god, was I right? Our Burgundian is going Cavalier. And he already has the heavy plow upgrade. So technically, if you wanted to... 2-man saw, I was going to say. Yeah, technically, if you wanted to. Now, if you're going Cavalier, do you prioritize Lumberjack or Farmer upgrades? I would have thought Farmer upgrades, no? You don't need Lumberjack upgrades if you're not building more structures and if your farms have more food. So you need to seed them less frequently. You also need food for all your upgrades. So I'm not sure why he's getting the 2-man saw as opposed to crop rotation. Second TC for Lowko outside the confines of his base. And this is the problem, right? I was talking about earlier. When you wall yourself in like this and you put one gate, his army, instead of going from here just around this way or around this way, he had to go all the way here, down, and all the way back. So, yeah. Might want to add some gates, everybody. Let's see, they're going to run into this this gray army. Nice. I like when players use attack move command, which it seems like Lowko was doing. So he hasn't actually seen anything of his opponent's base of what's happening here. Cavaliers with forging. They already have +1 armor. This villager is in a horrible position to mine gold, as is this one. Might want to put them a bit closer. Is this walled? I don't know if this is walled. Lowko's villager lead continues to grow, 6, but his army count is massive as well. I don't know why I said but, it should be and his massive army count is massive. A 3rd TC for him. So our Burgundian prioritizing quality. Our Japanese prioritizing quantity. Continuing to explore the map. More units moving forward. No cav. So I was half right. I thought cav archers versus cavaliers. We're seeing pikemen and crossbowmen versus cavaliers. Cavaliers that are at a +1/+1. And let's see what our Burgundian can do. Because, yeah, pikemen are still dangerous. And now they have +1 armor. Shaft mining for our gold. Villagers preemptively run away. Not sure they really needed to. Oh, but first, yeah, drop off your gold first. Pardon me, drop off your stone first. There's a hole at the top of Gray's base after all that walling. You mean the wood here? Well, Gray is definitely going ecotechs. Heavy on the ecotechs. And this is the problem when you're cloistered in. Oh, fantastic shot. Fantastic shot by Callie. And that'll be enough to send Lowko running away. Cavaliers didn't even have to raise their sword a second TC inside the base. I mean, he's seen this gold. He can go back here. But again, we are watching 1000 Elo versus 1000 Elo, so I'm not expecting Hera level gameplay. That being said, so far it's not bad. It's not terrible, to be honest. Housed here and there. Lowko's at 100 population to 60, so yeah, his eco is growing quantity-wise, whereas opponents is growing quality. I mean, compare the lumber upgrades. 2-man saw to double bit axe. Which is why he needs 20 vills on wood and not the 9 that his opponent has. But, oh, here we go. Now we're getting husbandry. We're also getting wheelbarrow. Pikeman got here. And our Burgundian is moving up. But this is a massive Japanese army. And remember, those pikemen attack 33% faster. Usually with a counter unit, the way they kind of scale and dial them back is they make them attack slower. Like a skirmisher attacks slower than an archer. A pikeman attacks slower than a cavalry unit, etc. But when you remove that, all of a sudden you have a counter unit that attacks lightning fast. And your opponent's in trouble. The wood hole, I think it's still a tile here. Yeah, there still might be tiles. Now they're disappearing rapidly, but there still might be tiles. Gray does not want to engage in with these pikemen, but he might have to. Should have done it earlier, to be fair. Lowko is pushing in with 42 army count. He's also ahead of now 20 villagers. Eco-techs are not that relevant anymore. Might want to get ballistics for his crossbowmen as they try to catch a villager. Numbers prevailing here for our Burgundian. Look, if he can keep catching 5-6 pikemen here, 5-6 pikemen there, that's one thing. Or if he just abuses the mobility here. Why don't you just run to your opponent's base? And Lowko is pulling his entire army back. This is 32 out of 43 army count being pulled home instead of continuing to attack. Gray's a little bit hard to see on the minimap. I can't believe I'm casting Lowko. This is crazy. This is Lowko. Spelled L-O-C-O. Back home before we dive into the attack. More houses, so he just wants to shore up the wall off there to the left. Now let's see if these cavaliers can do anything, because this is open. Uh-oh. Ruh-roh. Cavalry abusing the slower moving Japanese army. He's starting to get villager kills, 4 villager kills. But our Japanese pikemen coming in for the win, and now these cavaliers are trapped. Front door is being blocked. They're going to try to get as much damage as they can. 5 villager kills now. Actually, are they trapped? I don't even know anymore. This game. Bush A. Hello. A random Bush A. Where is Bush B? To be fair, these are palisades, so they will fall quickly. But while they do, the pikemen will close, so can't do that. Callie's getting good scouting, but that's basically all Callie is getting right now. Uncle Vinny, panic. Yeah, this is not good. I mean, it's not good for Gray. And he gets 2 more villagers. 3 more villagers. 4 more villagers. What this is like Magyar and Wild Animals. These are just one-tapping the villagers. And he only has forging. Will Lowko garrison? Will he garrison? Oh, he's researching Imperial Age from the exposed town center. Not that his opponent is punishing it at all. He is going with a high ground castle. Beautiful location. Second only to this location, which you can cut down that tree and then put your castle on top. But great location. Zones out the right side of the map. Left side is now basically where Gray can operate. And it looks like the last Cavaliers bit the dust. Iron casting for him as well. So the Cavaliers will be able to kill villagers. He's killed 9 villagers. Vill count is, I wouldn't say even, but it's not as bad as it was before. And that's down only 5 or 6. But the question is, what can our Burgundian do against the Japanese Deathball? This is a lot of units. Like, even if you kill 2/3 of this, it's still a massive army. There's just a lot here. 26 pikemen, 24 crossbowmen, and a single man-at-arms leading the parade here. So they're obviously on patrol. Now it's open. Now it is. Not that red has any units that can run into there. I thought I saw a double wall off, but I did not. Lumberjacks outside of the TC area as well. 29, 24, 53, 54 army count in one. I mean, this is the definition of a death ball. As weak and small as it is, once he hits Imperial Age, Halberdier and Arbalester are not bad at all from the Japanese, especially since they have all of the techs that they need in order to thrive in a modern world full of Burgundian Cavaliers. Here we go. Okay, Cali sends a random battering ram forward, unprotected. There are 3 Scorpions here, though. All of a sudden, infantry needs to be very afraid. Cali! Look at Cali running these pikemen left, right, and center. Okay, so he's prioritizing Bracer and Lumberjack upgrades. And just like that, Lowko's army disappears. He got lured by the siren call of the Cavalier. And hey, guess what? When you're coached by pros, you play like a pro. And there is no murder hole, but there is a samurai. That's hilarious. He popped him out, got a bunch of damage, and then popped him right back in. Okay, Gray says, F that. I'm just running straight towards you. You are an Imperial. I'm in Castle. There's not much I can do right now, except maybe build a market right underneath right underneath the nose of your castle. And let's see if Cali can get some damage done here. Lowko is pretty open here with Lumberjacks, Gold Miners. I don't think this is closed anymore. When you jack your wood too much, it leaves openings and gaps. And that is an opening and a gap. There are pikemen, but pikemen, as we saw against these Burgundian Cavaliers, will do decent, let's say, not good. Right? One dies immediately. The problem is you just, oh, that's a good choke point. That's a good choke point. Lowko using the choke point to his advantage. Even throws in a bunch of villagers there. Are there any pikemen here? There are 4 pikemen. Yeah, Gray's micro in that siege play was fantastic, but uh-oh, Lowko's in trouble here as villagers continue dying. Now he's down 12 villagers. The momentum here is completely shifted. This castle, proving to be a Pyrrhic construction, seemed very nice and strong, but all of a sudden, that one engagement, that goes to show you the squishy death ball. I don't know if he deleted those or they all died at the same time. That was a very weird happening. 1 second away from, where are you, Halberdiers? Now the Cavaliers are definitely not going to come into play. That's okay, though, because our Burgundian is heading to Imperial Age. Imperial Age, more barracks from our Japanese. But as we saw in the first game, Burgundian Paladins, I mean, I'm assuming we're going to see Paladins with 27 villagers on gold. Although maybe not. I shouldn't say I'm assuming so. Maybe not. This is a very exposed farm, by the way. Halberdier versus a unit that doesn't have bloodlines is one thing. A Halberdier that attacks with Japanese speed against a Paladin without bloodlines is another matter. Now, should he be getting Thumbring or should he be saving his resources for Arbalester is the question. Whether or not there was wood there before doesn't matter anymore. Now there is a market. When the market dies, or gets destroyed, I didn't realize all the food stalls get knocked over. I guess it makes sense. Lowko's Treb choosing a softer target of a few houses here. Yeah, you don't want to engage into this. Now all of a sudden you're dealing with 32 bonus damage against cavalry. You do not want to engage into that. Mass your numbers. He is gathering gold. Unfortunately for him, Well, fortunately and unfortunately. Fortunately, he's the Burgundians, which means, again, his Paladin upgrade is very cheap. 375 gold is nothing. Unfortunately, that upgrade takes a long, long time. And so we'll see if Lowko decides to press his advantage. Right now, he really needs to be pressing his advantage. Get rid of the relics. You don't want that. Stoner civilization getting their, where are you? Relics generate food in addition to gold. Okay, let's see if I was right about the Paladin upgrade, and let's see where he researches it from. Probably better to research from this stable. No, not this one. This one's gonna get destroyed in 2 seconds. Unless maybe Lowko ignores it. Looks like he is going after the monastery. He might give time. He stopped making bills. He's backed up. Both players are now in triple digits. 2 minutes away. Paladin is like, what, 20%, 25% completed. This is about as best case scenario for Cali as it could be right now, because his opponent is letting this tech get researched. He's a minute and 40 seconds away. He's getting the armor upgrades. Not too sure you care about armor when you're fighting a unit that has that much bonus damage against you. Maybe attack is better. Oh, there's a blast furnace as well. Does he have? No. I thought for a second he had two blacksmiths. He's got the wood for it. Lowko's got no wood. All his villagers are gold and food, which means we're not going to see any more arbalesters out of him. Why are you engaging your 40 seconds from Paladin? 39 Cavaliers in 41 seconds will be fully upgraded. 160 HP. Paladins. Oh, Lowko with a huge mistake here. Not going after the stable. I mean, he doesn't know what we know, which helps explain it. But let's see, we're 6 seconds away. Is he gonna wait till Blast Furnace finishes? He's gotta wait till Blast Furnace finishes. No, 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 why are you going in? Oh, Lowko also doesn't have, oh my goodness, doesn't have ballistics. I was wondering why they're missing. Here we go, the battle begins. Gray is going after the siege. Lowko's trebs are gone. The Paladins are busting through everything. And for the second time, Lowko's army just melts. If you're gonna go cheaper, smaller units, you have to have quantity. He's got 10 vills more than his opponent, but now he's in full flight. There are units in here. Arbalesters are good in the castle. Not too sure why these guys aren't in the castle. It is emergency panic time. How many barracks are we working with for our Japanese? 6 barracks. Get 4 more, please. Okay, okay. The majority of the army is sticking around underneath the castle. Every fire of arrows just reduces the HP more and more and more. That being said, where the hell is Lowko's army? It says he's got 30 army supply. Do you see 30 army supply here? I see 15. Where's the other 15? 6 is in here. Where's the other 10? What am I missing? Idle villagers. Idle villagers. It's like, huh. Here it is. He's gonna destroy the reinforcements as they come. Now, to be fair, Gray has no army either. Alejandro. Glad you could join us. Gray has no army. This is his army. Oh, the castle's gonna go up. That's so sour. No more reinforcements. What a beautiful placement for a castle. 1, 2, 3, 4 barracks under direct attack. All the barracks nullified. He's going to have to set his gathering point up here. Another castle right underneath the shadow of the other one. Lowko says, I can play tit for tat as well, bruh. Is there anything attacking this castle except one halberdier? It's going to be a long, long time before that halberdier, if he even lives to tell the tale. Oh, I forgot Lowko doesn't have ballistics. Oh no, this might be a fantastic pull. This might be a... Oh no, pardon me, Khalid also doesn't have ballistics. This might be a fantastic get here for Lowko accidentally, because his opponent's missing ballistics, can't really attack his units. Unless they move straight towards them. Paladins take a few pokes and prods, and here we go. The numbers for the Japanese are starting to climb. He has a 6 times bigger army. Monastery going up. He wants that trickle of gold and food that the Burgundians get. But the Treb is going to say, not today, sir. Yeah, if you move straight towards the castle, that's one thing. Lowko with the Treb. Helps closing again. You need some kind of support here, Mr. Burgundian. You gotta have something. Even skirmishers at this point would counter. Oh, and that's it. Great castle placement. You rarely see something like this, where it's right there in the face of your opponent, stopping all the reinforcements. Like, Lowko was not varying his gathering point or set point, waypoint, whatever you want to call it. What a fun game. You were reading a post that I was underrated? Everyone agreed? Oh, that's so nice. I'm going to go on Reddit and try to find that just so I can pat myself on the back. Lowko, despite losing his army multiple times, resilient is the perfect word. Exactly. He was very resilient. And the Burgundian, as much as you love Paladins, I mean, this is one of the best counters in the game, the Japanese Halberdier. We had the Bohemian Halberdier earlier with the 40 attack bonus instead of 32. These guys attack faster. It's just an absolute beast of a counter, and you need something. Either those amazing hand cannoneers or, like I said, even skirmishers. Even like 10 skirmishers here would be helpful with their attack bonuses against spearman line units. But this was a great castle placement. But Lowko lost his army. That micro here first was amazing by Gray, by the way. Lowko lost his entire army to those 5 siege units. Even though he was fighting underneath his own castle, he still lost his army because, again, pikemen back then and crossbowmen are very squishy. And then he lost his army again to the big paladin push out. And now he just kept training and training and training. More and more structures coming out from him. So at the end of the day, how many barracks? Still the 6? Yeah, still the 6, and 5 archery rangers were enough to push this Burgundian force straight to hell. Okay, APM pretty damn good out of both players. Let's see the economy at the end of the day. Look at that, less than a 10% difference in eco, despite one player having huge Vil lead almost the entire game, and the other one having a massive Vil tech lead the entire game. So there you go, at the end of the day, less than 10% difference in economy. But one player was doing paladins, and one player was training halberdiers. So eco kicks in when you don't have to spend any gold on anything. With 20 Vils on gold, you can keep pumping out more trebs, etc. But what an absolute amazing set of games. Again, Hera, big thank you for setting up the King's Gauntlet tournament and giving us an opportunity to see these other non-AoE 2 players playing AoE 2. And like I said, Pig from the previous game, right before this one, and Lowko from this game are the reasons I went into casting, or that I took an interest in casting and started this channel in the first place, just because just a huge, huge lover of both their channels. And if you have any inkling, or inclination, I guess is the right word, to watch StarCraft, I would highly recommend Lowko and Pig. And if you want to watch a great Terran, Uthermal, those are my 3 StarCraft recs. But wow, what an absolute fantastic set of 6 games. Again, thank you, Hera. Thank you to everyone watching, and the 6 players. Again, I think we started with Day9, then we did Grubby and Sing. We saw Uthermal with the Koreans, Pig, and now Lowko. So on that note, I am going to log off, go have some lunch, and maybe watch some StarCraft. Who knows? I probably shouldn't be saying that as an Age of Empires caster, but yeah. A bunch of people learn StarCraft too. That could also be fun, little cross-pollination of RTS games. But everyone, thank you so much for watching and commenting and joining. Hit that like button. If you're new to the channel, feel free to subscribe. And aside from that, yeah, I plan on live streaming more regularly. Maybe not regularly, period, but more regularly than I have been in the past year. And with that, I'm just going to say goodbye to everyone, and have a fantastic remainder of your day. And yeah, thank you again to Hera for putting on this tournament, and thank you to all the 6 players, and actually all the 12 players that we saw playing Age of Empires, and high elo, low elo. All the games were super fun. Actually, really, really, really fun. Everyone, thank you so much. Vinny, appreciate it. Lemmy, good to see you again. Alejandro, I'm glad you could join, even though it was the last last game. But yeah, everyone, take care and have a fantastic, fantastic rest of your day. Take care.